everybody's week is going well. Hey, Wolfie. Hey, Ingrid. How you doing? You guys complaining because I snuck away to make a cuppa after hitting start streaming? It's not my fault. It got cold. That's the excuse I'm using, and I'm sticking with it. How are you guys doing? 8 minutes to make a cuppa. I mean, probably closer to 5. Oh, I was wondering where that was. Deciding to do work? No. I'm sure it'll pay off, even if it's a case of, like, not wanting to do it. Hey, worst case scenario, it gets done, right? Right, this is our last run at Teenage Exocolonist. Because we are currently 17. It's at least $15 worth of work, but you want to do so many things. Yeah, I know that feeling. You haven't had a coffee in like a week, so you gotta fix that. Yeah, go on, go get caffeinated. We're in month 1 of year 17, so I doubt you'll miss much. I can wait if you want, I don't mind. I'm still trying to plug my brain back in because it has been, I got about 3 hours of sleep. I mean, I mostly survive off coffee because of the 3 hours of sleep there. It's the only thing keeping me walking. To wait on you getting murdered? Why are you getting murdered? I think my defense is that... Oh, get murdered. The audacity. I'll be fine. I'm sure our defense is high enough. I say without checking it. Hope I can get more sleep in tonight. Yeah, me too. Oh, murdering! Sorry, that's definitely gonna blame that on the 3 hours of sleep. Oh, I do not have... I am firing on like 1 brain cell and that bitch is asleep. Murdering. Right. Okay, let's hop over there and get started. Oh, this one. I want to click this one. Is that actually showing? Ah, good, it is. Had me worried there for a minute. Pop that on. Is that a little loud? No, should be fine. Why do I have so many different screens open? I'm closing Discord, screw that. What? Okay, Reactive Gaming didn't like me doing that, but so be it. Oh, you had bad sleep too? I hope that sorts out for yourself as well tomorrow, or tonight, even. I wonder what that was. Oh. Alright, so while Ingrid has escaped to make coffee, let's get started. I have no memory of what was happening. Did we talk to anybody? Who are we friends with? Well, Tammy's dead, I forgot about that. Fuse is maxed out, so that's handy. I'm not stressed out enough for the good portrait. Disappointing. Hey, it's only the start of our being 17. It's also month 3. Yep, okay. I guess I waited for the birthday. Let's see. Let's go dump some stuff on people. It's nobody's birthday today. I know who does like the crystals. Okay. Nomi is delightful. We're not getting her friendship or their friendship up anywhere near a useful point. Congratulations, Mars, you're getting a flower. Congratulations, Nami, you are getting a nevermind. No, you're not. Rex? Okay. I think we've read these out. I don't know. These landed at 15, so maybe? I'm so lost. I should have rewatched my own VOD because I'm so fucking... I have only 4... Oh, I'm poor. Do we have any? Yeah. Here, have a weird thing. Yeah, you like that. We've nothing for Cal. You don't need anything. You're fully intact. I'm sure I had plans. I don't know what they were, so we're gonna go out exploring like usual. I'm not applying to be a hunter. I don't want to do that. It's a new year, so we should be fine. Oh, I hate these things. Shh. Silence it. Hey. Your favorite Irish cat girl is streaming. How many Irish cat girls do you know, Chris? Compliment brought to you by Rage Shadow Legends. Careful, I hear they don't pay as good as they say they do. You find more scraps of convergent domain writing and technology. You document everything to bring back to Utopia. I don't think there's anything over there you can pick up. Need a better sponsor. Y'all are getting paid for this? I'm just here trying to keep myself sane before work cracks me like an egg. Let's see if we can get to the boss fight at the end. Yank. Well, I mean, first we're gonna hoover up all the natural resources. What's the death count at today? Let me see. We've got Tammy, Fululu, Udicott, Sim, Hal, and Tonin. So the death count is at 6. Not for me, but... Hope it's a nice egg cracking instead of need a few eggs to make an omelet. No, it's probably just not that one. It's probably the second one. Twitch has your full username, Twitch1, Discord 0. To be fair, I think OBS was just hiding your username because it was in streamer mode. So it wasn't like snitching on you. Oh, that's... Utopia has sent you and Dees to study one of the large crystal outcroppings. Up close, you can't help but get the sense that they're alive somehow. They're angular and hard to the touch, but they have a sort of sponginess and warmth to them that's a little disconcerting. They emit a humming noise. Dees pokes one with his finger. Weird. It almost looks like they're breathing. Study them. Oh, well. You notice that they hum the loudest at midday, under full sun. The few crystals that have grown under shaded outcroppings are less vibrant than the others. They kinda look like convergent domain tech, don't they? Dees says. Like the organic obsidian or the crystals embedded in the runes. Try blocking the crystal's sun. On a hunch, you cover one up with some ferns. After an hour, it stops vibrating. Something deep inside it has gone dormant. The crystal turns clear, like the ones that were shadowed naturally. When you remove the fronds, its color returns. Oh, so it's like photosynthesis, Dees exclaims. But it's not a plant, right? Try uprooting one. They do indeed have roots, and they're really tough. You dig around the base of one and expose them so you can see. They're made of the same glass, but rough and frosted, and warm, much warmer than the surrounding soil. The roots go down deeper than you can dig. You won't be able to remove one without breaking it. Alright, try breaking it. You wiggle one of the crystals like a loose tooth. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Boom! You're thrown by the explosion. When the dust settles and you brush off the shards of warm crystal, you realize that some of the nearby crystals have also exploded. Are they connected underground? Oh, yep, sorry about that, Tramp. Oh, that was the entire screen. Constantly forgetting that with this game. There we go. Thanks for the reminder. Definitely need to start writing that down for myself. Yes! I know a mycorrhizal network when I see one, Dees exclaims. They're alive, like fungus, but also kind of artificial, like the convergent domains buildings. I bet they were used to harvest energy from sunlight, like living solar panels. I wonder if they've been growing wild this whole time, or if they still power something. He stops. Wait, are you okay, Solana? You dust yourself off and scribble excitedly in your survey notes. This is an important scientific discovery. Little sticky note to my head in August. Oh, you'll sticky note it to my head. I won't be able to see it. The hot portrait is here, rejoice. Yeah, I got blown up, so I'm stressed now. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna make a gun for the zone event, the boss event, see what that's about. Because our stress is very high right now. Oh, free shit. Ah, good, another thumper. You and Dees are exploring the ruined wormhole observatory again. It feels so familiar. You've dreamed about this place many times, and it's like you're just remembering it all now. This time, the dream memories grip you. You wander as if sleepwalking down familiar paths. You look up and see the wormhole faint in the sky above. The time is right to observe it. Dees tries to keep up. Where are you going? He asks angrily. You don't answer. You're trying to concentrate on finding the place. You approach the large pyramid in the center of the complex. Beside it is one of the smaller elevators, a little monolith with a round iris door. This is the place. Your head throbs with it. Even standing outside, you know there's something down there. Find a way in. You look for one of those elevator monoliths near the pyramid and find it, but it's overgrown with snaking vines and brambles with very large flowers all over. You could push through them, but Dees stops you and shows you a Geiger counter reading on his hollow palm. These flowers seem to be radioactive. Your suit won't protect you for long. Take a sample. I don't think I can handle any more stress. You snag a sample you could study later in geoponics. Push through? Oh, we're going home. You soon realize your mistake as the radiation illness sets in. Brushing by those flowers gave you a big dose. You'll be sick for days and need radiation treatment when you return, but for now you continue, drawn irresistibly forward by something that sings in your head. You enter the elevator, thankfully still working, and descend beneath the ground. It opens to a kind of antechamber room with an exit at the other end, leading to the heart of the pyramid. There are glyphs carved into the crystal panels on the walls, symbols that resemble the wormhole. You start across the room. The further you go, the more your head swims. You have to pause. You think you might faint, and it isn't just the radiation. There's something down here, some great energy, and it's making your head hurt. You shake your head, trying to clear it. Wait, maybe this is a bad idea. And we are far too stressed to keep going, so we are out of here. Dees has to practically drag you out of there. The pull of the thing was so strong. When you're back at the glider drop point and you can think clearly again, you feel fine and wonder what the hell came over you. So does Dees. He decides to leave with you rather than explore by himself. Someone was having too much fun writing the word throb for this event. Don't worry about it. You can't find Dees outside the walls, even though the duty roster has him working on the expedition vehicles today. After asking around, one of his crewmates points you to where she'd seen him disappear into the forest just 10 minutes ago. You thank her and set off into the wilderness. You've picked up a few things about tracking after hanging out with Dees for so long, so you follow his trail into the nearby mushwood forest until you hear him, speaking calm and slow. Shh, it's gonna be okay. Just let me help you. You follow his voice to find him kneeling on the ground next to a wounded Hawkeye. The scent of blood and animal fear colors the air. Dees' knife glints as he pulls it from its sheath. Don't worry, he says to the creature. I've got you. It won't hurt anymore real soon. A branch snaps under your foot and Dees' head jerks up. His eyes go wide, but he doesn't greet you. Instead, he gestures for you to get a closer look at the Hawkeye. Its single leg is mangled beyond recognition from a hunter's snap trap, and it's bleeding heavily. It can only stare up at Dees, defeat in its 4 eyes. It struggles once more, then goes still from the exertion, wheezing miserably. They tell everyone they're humane traps, Dees murmurs, but humans lie, don't they? They lie all the time. The hunters won't be back to check the traps until tomorrow, Dees continues, looking down at the Hawkeye with a grim expression. I have to put it out of its misery. It is the kind of thing you could do. Dees nods once and steels himself. With a clean cut, he slices through the neck of the Hawkeye. It tenses, twitching in fear reflex, then goes limp in his arms. Dees is quiet at your side for a long time, breathing evenly in through his nose and out through his mouth, like he's meditating. It's better to die quickly than suffer in a trap, but there shouldn't have been a trap in the first place, he says eventually. He clicks his tongue against his teeth. It's pointless. It was going to die eventually, but not here. It's not natural. It's not the death part that bothers me, it's our vanity. Humans are so afraid of extinction that they'll kill indiscriminately to avoid it. Dees takes out a cloth and wipes the Hawkeye's blood off his blade, his movements slow and reverent. I used to let it control me too. I thought dying meant that living was pointless, he continues. But now I know the truth. Life is short and brutal and hard. It's up to us to fill it with as many experiences as we can. Are we gonna spend our lives cooped up in the colony, subjugating nature because it strikes fear into our animal brains? He smiles faintly. Or are we going to get out there and live the only life we've been given? He looks down at the corpse of the Hawkeye and lays his hand gently against its head. We're all going to end up like this in the end. There's no use denying it and letting the fear of it control our actions. I never thought about it like that. Isn't it obvious? Dees asks, looking up at you. It's not like I'm out there throwing myself off cliffs, but it's not something I let control me. He smiles, genuinely. And because I don't fear death, I do so much more living. You should try it sometime. Dees lifts the Hawkeye's body into his arms and raises to his feet. The smell of death will attract animals right into the other traps, he says, and I'm not taking it back to the colony to be stuffed into a recycler. We have to take it into the woods and give it back to nature. You and Dees walk further into the forest in respectful silence, Dees cradling the dead Hawkeye against his chest. Eventually, he tells you to wait while he finds the tracks of a predator and lays it down nearby, an offering the forest accepts without acknowledgement. He returns to you, blood-stained and solemn. It's done, he says. You begin the walk back to the colony, though it's clear Dees is taking his time. After a few minutes of walking, he turns to you and grabs your arm, forcing you to stop and look at him. Solana, he says, his eyes burning. Promise you won't let me end up like that Hawkeye. At your questioning look, he squeezes your arm to the point that it almost hurts. If I'm trapped here, just let me go, okay? Cool. I promise. Dietz breathes a sigh of relief. Thank you, Solana. He stares at you for a few unnerving seconds, perfectly still, before jerking into motion and fishing a pendant necklace from his clothes. He unclasps it from his neck and holds it out to you. Here, he says. You should have this. I want you to have it. You turn and let him put it around your neck. The pendant is large, but surprisingly light. You recognize it as a fragment of unisaur horn, its pearlescent color shimmering in the light. Are you flirting with me? Deese's hands pause on your neck. Maybe, he breathes so quietly you almost don't hear. Is that okay? His voice is shaking. Is he scared? Well, we've been basically hunting this man for 7 years. Might as well commit to it. Deese, I feel the same way. You do? Deese says. You're not just saying that because you feel sorry for me, right? You turn around and shake your head. You've waited a long time for Deese to be ready, and he finally came to you on his own. A bird you had to let go to be free. Deese regards you with a serious expression. You're the only person in this colony that I've ever really cared about, he says. I don't know why you bothered trying to be my friend when I was trying to push everyone away. His eyes drop to your mouth and linger there. I care for you so much, Solana, he says softly. It almost scares me sometimes. I've never felt like this before about anything. He cups your face and bends to kiss you, achingly sweet and slow. You can't imagine what I do to keep you safe. He steps away and looks down at the ground, suddenly evasive. Listen, I don't know how much longer I have left here, he says softly. I just want you to know that I want to spend the time I do have with you. Oh my god, what's he gonna do to the colony? Don't worry about it. He ain't gonna do shit. To be fair, throb is a fun word. You're not wrong, it is a fun word. Okay, we can't do anything this season, we need a break. Do we have gifts for Mars? Yes! When's your birthday? I have no idea. Cool. Here, have a flower. Oh. Mars and Nomi are bent over one of Nomi's sketchbooks. Mars is talking animatedly with expansive hand gestures. Nomi is nodding along and taking notes. No, 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 Mars exclaims. This neckline needs to be bolder lines, and down here, lots and lots of extra fabric. And make this part gold. I want it to scream, I don't have to work like everybody else. I'm only here to look beautiful and have people adore me. But we do have to work, Nomi pouts. Nanoprinting's restricted for these kind of materials. It costs kudos. Mars rolls her eyes. That's the point. Nomi huffs. Not everyone's got as many kudos as you, Marzipan. Especially us Helos. We didn't have any at all when we landed. If I want to wear something other than uniforms, I usually trade or mod old clothes instead of printing new ones. Mars looks appalled. You trade clothes? You don't even sell them to each other for kudos? Nomi shrugs and tucks their hair behind their ear. It's just, some kids can't afford to print this kind of clothing, right? So you're losing out on them as potential customers. So maybe instead you could design clothes that are pretty, but also made from common materials, so everybody can have them. Nomi smiles brightly. Then maybe when you're in charge, you can get rid of kudos entirely. It doesn't seem right that we trade kudos for extra stuff when we're all supposed to only have what we need anyway. Nomi packs up their sketchbook and leaves, and Mars turns to you with a thoughtful look. Oh, Nomi doesn't know that I was the one who started selling things for kudos in the first place. My dads keep saying I shouldn't do that because hoarding kudos and treating them like currency will cause, she makes quotation marks in the air with her fingers, wealth inequality. Do you think they might be right? Nomi's right. The Helios are broke. Oh, Mars says, tapping her chin. I mean, I knew the Helios were tragic, but I just thought they had terrible taste. You know, the uniforms and the haircuts. I didn't know it was because they were poor. I really don't think the kudos make everything unequal, Mars continues. Like, you can always work harder if you want something nice, right? That's what I do. Mars looks genuinely troubled. It's great that we have everything we need. Well, as long as there's not a weird disease or a famine or whatever. But we're still poor, you know? She sighs. We're poor in culture. Like, yes, every colonist has a steaming pile of mashed trippet every morning, noon, and night. But what if I want to watch a holovid I haven't seen a million kajillion times? Mars puts her hands on her head. When we only focus on survival, who's making the holovids, and the symphonies, and the gourmet food? She throws her arms in the air and shouts, "We have everything we need, but we're poor. Poor people don't care about art." Mars snaps her fingers. No, I've got it. I'm a genius. If the adults won't incentivize the creative class, we need to do it ourselves. We need to get the adults on board with adopting kudos and using it to pay for luxury goods. Instead of slaving away in the depot or the kitchen, people like Nomi could be artisans. She grabs you by the shoulders. If we have an actual creative class, maybe we can get some culture on this stupid rock. I can't believe I've never thought of it before, she says, clearly possessed with a beautiful vision. I'm the richest teenager in the colony, but what good is it if there's nothing to buy? Here I am, sitting on more kudos than I could ever use, and I could have been using it to kickstart the creative economy. I could be a patron of the arts. Mars releases you and pulls up the finances screen of her hollow palm. You catch a glimpse of her balance, which is more kudos than you've ever made in a year, at least. Yes, good, Mars says, thinking out loud. More than enough to start. She looks at you. Well, Solana, she says imperiously, you'll join me, right? Let's give away some kudos. You know what? Sure, here's 10. That's all I've got. I've literally got 19. This is as good as I can do. Mars nods as you transfer 10 kudos into her account. It's not much, but it's a start. The capitalist stuck in the minimalist society, true pain. Yeah. I've said it before, but the more I get to know her, the more she does grow on me, in fairness. I was supposed to be getting sticks for Rex. Well, he's shit out of luck. I have no idea when your birthday is, so you're getting a crystal. Eh, good. You liked it. Somebody has an early pollen birthday. Could be you. Well, you only take cake and sticks, so... Excellent. He takes cake. And it's his birthday, I think. Help him build something. Actually, I'm working on something right now, Rex says, producing a holo projector. It looks so familiar. Wait! It's the holo projector you used to watch vids on in the creche. It's been broken ever since the creche was destroyed. I was hoping you could help me fix this up. I want to have outdoor movie nights. You help Rex bring the holo projector back to life, then help him make an outdoor theater for it, complete with overhead lights and comfortable places to pile up your bedding. Aunt Anne provides the snacks. Rex looks at it with pride. We just have to figure out what to play for our opening night. You're looking for Rex by the construction site, but Rex finds you first. Tackle hug! You turn to the source of the yell. Rex is barreling towards you, arms outstretched. You have about 2 seconds to decide how to react. Give him a big ol' friendly bear hug. You stand your ground and throw your arms wide. Rex almost knocks you off your feet with the force of his hug, but his strong arms don't let you fall. He smells so good, like sweat and dust and sunshine. I feel like that's subjective. I'm always happy to see you, Solana, Rex says, squeezing you tightly. You think you're starting to understand this strange Helio boy and his love of hugs. So, Rex asks, crossing his arms, were you looking for me? What do you need? Let's do something fun. Rex tilts his head to the side. Like what? Do you want to skip work and hang out? Rex looks torn. Oh man, he groans. Normally, yes, for sure, but I'm actually super stoked to work on the build today. He jerks his thumb towards the construction project behind him. If you want, you can come see what we're working on. Rex takes you on a tour of the construction site. He's great company, and basking in his excitement is a pleasant way to spend an afternoon. When you wave goodbye to him so he can get back to work, you feel a little bit lighter. Nice. I don't think we have anything Cal would like. Cal and Rex are hanging out in the garden gazebo. You can hear their laughter echo through the garden long before you see them. Hey, Solana! Cal calls out to you, and Rex lifts his hand in a jaunty wave. Rex told me he wanted my help burying his bone in the garden, but when we got here, he said he must have forgot it back in his room. Can you believe it? Rex shoots you a long-suffering look and rolls his eyes. Burying his fucking bone. Sir, I'm pretty sure that man is married. How are we looking with Tang? Not terrible. Actually, we're getting along pretty well with most people. Aside from our newcomers. And the dead people. We don't talk about the dead people. I know you do like these things. Ah yes, face threatening me again. I'm pretty sure we've read that one. Because he keeps doing it. Here, have a thing I found on the ground. I don't actually know what that is. In my defense, even the game refers to it as a strange device. How am I supposed to know what— ooh, a stick. Do we have— we do have xenobotany. So we can go check out what's up with that weird radioactive plant. Which I'm assuming is xenobotany and not engineering. Could be life sciences, but... Your dad— oh, I've never done it before. Your dad introduces you to the little lab they have set up in one of the greenhouses. It's incredible, he says, gesturing all around him. We're surrounded by alien flora, and we know practically nothing about it. What's edible? What's medicine? What can we make fibers with, or build with, or use in ways we haven't thought of yet? He beams at you. You and me, we're gonna find out, my little potato. Your dad directs you to a research bench. And here's where you'll be working. The bench is buried under samples and beakers and weird-looking alien sprouts. More than just a simple table, the analysis bench is covered with buttons and little holes you could put things into. Be careful. Carefully find the on switch. There is no on switch. Yep, you looked everywhere. Stick something in a hole. And don't tell Rex that we did that. You put one of the seedlings into a small slot in the table. A little door slides shut and then reopens. A loud brrr noise startles you. Oh no, you broke it! Your dad laughs. Nah, just kidding. You're fine. Good instincts, kiddo. Okay. Press buttons at random. You mash all the table's buttons until... Yo, 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 kiddo! It's congruence! The friendly ship's computer beams at you from her own hollow screen set into the bench. Of course she's here. She's the guardian of all knowledge in the colony, after all. You wonder who she got yo 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 from. Your dad laughs. Don't tell anyone, but congruence is the real brains of the operation, he confesses, though it's not like it's a secret. She'll make sure we don't do anything super dangerous, which means you and I get to focus on experimentation. If you follow the rules and stick to what you already know, you won't learn anything new. So, don't be afraid to try stuff. Get to work. Okay, you go there, you go there. You go there, you go there, you go there. Yeah, perfect. A successful first day in the xenobotany lab. Oh, excuse me. So we have a stick for Rex. Don't need to gift these. Mars Nomi and Vase are all locked. We don't think we have anything for Tang, or... we could try giving Tang one of the strange devices, see if she wants one. Okay, she has no strong opinions about this. Which is good enough for me, because that means she doesn't have hostile opinions about it. No, actually... hey, let's get out of here. I was just thinking the same thing, Dee says, giving you one of his rare smiles. He shows you a special spot. I feel safer doing this with Dees than Rex because, well, Rex is like openly sexual and Dees is literally wearing armor. I know a place nearby, Dee says, his eyes crinkling mischievously. We won't need to take much. Just follow me. Dees leads you about half an hour into the wilderness, just far enough that the ever-present scent of smoke and manure fades away, and the forest opens up to reveal a small lake with perfectly clear jade-colored water and soft white sand. Dees kicks off his shoes and pulls his shirt over his head, revealing the well-hidden secret of his tan skin and toned muscles. Whatever picture you're seeing, author of that sentence, is not the picture we're seeing, because that boy is pale. But I'll allow it. He shoots you a little smile. There's no one around for miles. It's just us. You rapidly divest yourself of clothing and dive into the clear pool, swimming out far enough that the only sound is the water gently lapping against your shoulders as Dees pulls you into a firm kiss. Your legs tangle together as you tread water, dipping below the waterline and coming up sputtering, laughing, clinging together in your fantasy of being the only two people who matter on the whole planet. Had me fucking worried there for a minute. Oh wow, okay. With our events, we've actually downgraded our stress level as well. I'll take it. Ooh. A little bit of coffee, because I've not had enough of that today. Don't ask how many I've had today. Won't lie, definitely had me sweating there for a second. Let's try again with the xenobotany. Please do something with this plant. Do not tell me that it's in fucking engineering. You've been studying the sponge cake you found out in the Valley of Vertigo, in that oddly squishy trampoline ground. As you suspected, it's a type of fungus. The analysis bench tells you that it contains edible starches. Once dried and processed with a maturing agent, acidic spark snow would work nicely, it will make a wonderful flour. The challenge now is to cultivate it. It multiplies quickly, and you've seen how it stops anything else from growing nearby. Plant it in a backfield. You plant the sponge cake in a special field, quarantined on the other side of the geoponics domes from the rest of the crops. By the end of the month, you can already tell that it's taken root and will start producing viable food soon. Hopefully, you can squeeze a harvest out of what you planted before dust comes. Well, shit! We should have done that about 5 years ago, shouldn't we? Many of the Earth's crops grow through dust and need to be harvested before wet. This means the colony has more food available year-round. It's going to be an incredible boon. Sorry, mother who starved to death. My bad? Okay, those just work out about the same. But that does tell us that this is where we go to poke at weird alien plants. So at least I'm in the right area. I'm gonna just relax in the park. It'll make my life easier. You're cleaning up around your mother's memorial when the sound of footsteps disturbs your thoughts. Security Chief Rhett is standing in the garden, holding a wreath of white astrantia. He coughs awkwardly, puts the wreath on the memorial, and leaves without saying anything. You can feel your hop eyes starting to trust you more. They're still pretty skittish, and you don't want to see what those claws on the end of their foot can do, but they seem a lot more relaxed in your presence. You're petting it when it starts to chitter at you in agitation. Whoops, what's wrong, Mrs. Hoppington? It flips over on its back and wiggles, its lighter stomach fur looking impossibly soft and enticing. Do you dare? Or is it a trap? As a cat owner, that's definitely a trap. No, I want... No, this is a mistake. 7, 6, 5, 3, 9, 8, 8, 4. Perfect. Oh, and we get paid because it equals the goal. You're too smart to fall for this trick. After a few minutes, Mrs. Hoppington seems to lose interest. They spot a bug circling lazily overhead and flip back onto their foot, chittering as they begin to track it with their 4 blinking eyes. Ooh. Ooh. Gain less stress. Yes, please. You haven't given up training Riki Tiki to follow simple commands. They clearly have the ability to understand that you're trying to communicate with them. There's just a huge language barrier. Cal gives you the idea to try clicker training, getting them to associate verbal commands with actions and rewards, using a clicking noise as positive reinforcement. You may as well give it a shot. I love that I came here to lower my stress and now I'm just getting stacks of events. But it's like, boy, I hope you don't need to push through any of these. Nice. I'm not even going to try and make that equal the goal. I'm not doing maths. My head is fried. Success! You use the clicking as a shared language, and Riki Tiki quickly begins to respond to your commands. By the end of the afternoon, you're getting pretty reliable results from both stay and follow. This is great! Vriki must be more intelligent than people give them credit for. Maybe Vriki will be the species that evolves to be codependent with humans, like dogs evolved from wolves. You're playing with Mrs. Hoppington in the park when you hear a rustle from a nearby bush. Curious, you look underneath. It's the Hop-Eye you met before. Mrs. Hoppington lets out a happy trill of recognition. The other Hop-Eye trills as well, and explodes out from the bush to bounce happily around Mrs. Hoppington. They chitter excitedly at each other, and you hear something else is making noise. You look onto the bush and see, oh, stars! 5 baby Hop-Eyes, pink and hairless, curled up together in the shade. The strange adult Hop-Eye stops what it's doing and bounds over to you, warning you with a rattling hiss. Try to calm the Hop-Eye down. How many challenges are we getting in a row here? Help! There we go. I don't need that one. 8, 8. It doesn't matter if we get stressed because it's supposed to go away by the end of it. Help. You manage to calm down the Hop-Eye using tricks you've learned from training Mrs. Hoppington. They cautiously allow you to pet them, their giant frog eyes blinking out of sync. Ooh. Nice. You spend some time gazing in awe at the little Hop-Eye nest. They're so small and helpless. No wonder the Hop-Eye wanted to protect them. You've been working with Riki Tiki for months on getting them to follow simple commands. You're getting pretty consistent results with 1 or 2 at a time, but they get bored and wander away if you try to do a longer session. You've set up a small obstacle course in the garden consisting of a few ramps and balancing beams. Riki Tiki looks at the treats in your hand expectantly. I'm guessing something got upgraded, and now we're just getting crash course through all of them at once. If I can get another pair with this. Yes! Sorry, Rex. Guess you're not getting a log next season. I gotta find a better word for that. A stunning show from young Rikki-Tikki. Admirable speed and dexterity. They and their trainer, Solana, are promising new stars in the field of Riki training. Rikki-Tikki finishes the course and leaps into your arms, chittering happily. You did it! You've trained a Riki to follow commands. I'm free. I've been in that one event for like 10 minutes. I gotta swing by the geoponics more often. Let me see. I think the only item we have left is a single crystal. There you go. Happy... What season are we in? Dust? Dust. Did I see something down there? No, I did not. Hey, dipstick. Yep. Still mad about Rex, aren't you? Here, have this thing I found on the ground. Oh. You arrive outside of the garrison just as you spy a small unit of young Helio trainees finishing their daily run around the colony. Vase is easily in the lead. You swing yourself up onto the fence and watch as the group breaks up into pairs for the next drill. As unit leader, Vase goes around and corrects everyone's form and checks in on them before he spots you and trots over. "What's up, colony kid?" he says, wiping his forehead. His training shirt clings to his chest, damp with sweat and showing off his muscles. "Missed you out there today. You should come for a run sometime." "Sure, you couldn't keep me away." I still do want to hit you with a stick sometimes. "Hell yeah," Vase says, bumping his fist into yours. "Every day at first sunrise. If you're late, you have to run it twice." Oh fuck, what have I signed up for? "I've been trying to get the other colony kids out here," Vase continues. "On the Helio, we were raised to believe that physical exertion does more than build muscles. It helps you think more clearly and boosts your immune system too." He clenches his fist. "Not only that, but it strengthens the bond between brothers. It turns men into heroes." Vase looks like a hero, you think. Even just standing there, he has the same kind of presence as action heroes in the old vids from Earth. He's so confidently in his element that everything he does looks effortless. You can't imagine him skinning his knee, or having his voice crack, or tripping over his feet, all three of which have happened to you this week. Okay, we were fine before you got here is just straight up a lie. We were on fire. Half the colony was dead. I'm glad you guys are here, because they were trying to play nice. Vase shrugs. "Just doing our duty to humanity." Vase picks up his water bottle and takes a big swig, rinsing out his mouth before spitting into the dirt. "Not everyone's cut out to be a soldier," he says. "I mean, where would we be without people like Tangent giving us the intel we need?" He shrugs. "An enemy's pretty cool. She's got the right idea. And that Cal guy, he's got the muscle, but..." Vase shakes his head with a snort. "Honestly, you all lack the discipline." Bless his heart. Do we have anything left? Ah, we do. Have a flower, Mars. Now had better not be the time to tell me that we already know when her birthday is. Okay, good. Can we please deal with the radioactive flowers so I can go do that event that I was curious about? Back in the lab, you have all the right equipment to properly examine that radioactive plant you found. Maybe you can find a way to protect yourself from them, so you don't need to drag a radiation-proof envirosuit with you every time you go to that part of the planet. Radiation poisoning isn't the killer it used to be on Earth. With medbeds, you can flush out those deadly doses of radiation in a few hours. It could still make you really sick, though, and high enough doses could kill you before you're even able to reach a medbed. How confident are you that you know how to protect yourself? Sure, super confident, no problem. Yeah, you've totally got a handle on this. You're an engineering wunderkind. You take all the correct precautions. You clear the area of anything that might be contaminated. You wear a radiation-proof hazsuit. You regularly check the radiation levels of the lab, and you have congruence on standby to call for help if you need it. Everything goes smoothly. Genuinely thought my overconfidence was going to kill me. You discover that the radioactive part of the plant is confined to the carpel of the flower, its reproductive organs, and that the petals act as a radioactive shield to protect the rest of the plant. If you press the center of the flower, the petals close and block the radiation enough that a person can pass by without feeling sick. Neat! You should be able to use this to protect yourself next time you encounter this plant in the wild. Hallelujah. Nice. Those are some nice stats we're getting. This year's Vertumnalia is ushered in with a big military band, horns and drums, supplemented by recordings of parade music from Earth. Governor Lum strides out of command on a grand red carpet and ascends the stage to raucous applause. "Thank you, everyone," he calls out over the din. "Look at you. Look at this colony, finally, truly united. All it took was a common enemy," he declares. "I look at you beautiful people, you strong people, you good human people, and I see a fire in your eyes. I see courage in your hearts. I see a colony that's ready to win. I see a colony that's here to stay, Vertumna. Do you hear me?" He raises his arms and roars. "Do you hear me, Vertumna? We humans aren't going to hide anymore." Lum gestures for Security Chief Rhett to join him on stage, then continues. "The original fugitive colonists got it wrong. In Roman mythology, Vertumnus was the god of cultivation, not of rampant chaotic growth." He clenches his hand into a fist. "We need to clear the field before we can plow it. Vertumna won't be safe for human life until the aliens are eradicated." Rhett crosses his arms and nods his agreement. Maybe there's more to this plan than Lum is letting on. Lum descends from the stage and does a receiving line of handshakes and fist bumps. In the vacuum left by his presence, Chief Administrator Seek takes the podium and clears their throat. Ahem. "I want to announce that this will be the last year that the festival contests will be held." "What?" A sound of protest rises from the crowd, and near the front, Lum just shrugs theatrically and mouths, "Not my fault." Seek looks down at him pointedly and then continues. "This war will use our colony's resources at a tremendous rate, including the most valuable, time." Lum takes the stage again and soothes the crowd. "I do have some good news," he declares. "Starting today, the colony is going to be granting requests from people who want to have children." A happy murmur burbles through the crowd. "Yes, that's right. It's time to start on the next generation of Vertumnans and secure a future for our children." Lum pumps his fist in the air. "Humans, humans, humans!" Anyway, about this war on nature. "I think it's stupid," Kyle says immediately. "I know survival isn't important, but we don't have to kill things to survive here." Mars rolls her eyes. "Duh, of course you'd think that," she mutters. "Personally, I think Lum is a total nullhead. He's not that much older than me. What is he, like 24, and everyone listens to him?" She flips her hair over her shoulder. "They should listen to me instead." Finally, you're all called to participate in the games. The last ones, maybe forever. If this war on nature ever ends, you'll probably be an adult. As your friends all separate into their usual games, you realize that this may be the last time that you just get to be kids. What do you choose? You know what? I'm just gonna skip, because I don't really want to go Xeno wrangling, because it sounds like that would suck, and I feel bad about it. You head off to the wall. Deese is already there, having slipped away sometime during the speeches. "I hate this colony," he mutters. "I don't want to live on this planet anymore." After the festivities, everyone is supposed to take a few days vacation. You and your friends relax, but the adults move around the colony like ants in a hive, fortifying the walls and preparing for the human offensive against the planet. Cool. Hate that. Feel like I probably should have seen that one coming from the, hyper-militaristic Helios. I'm still disappointed. The bar was on the floor and I'm still disappointed. Alright, you... Fine. Do I have anything to give anybody else? No, it's just weird shit I found on the ground. Well... Drop one of these to Tang. So, we're at war then, Tang says, fiddling with her microscope. I'm of mixed feelings. First of all, nature has been at war with us since the day we landed, so if it takes an official declaration in order to secure more resources for engineering, I accept it. Welcome to the good fight, administration. She pulls back from the microscope and blinks, rubbing her eyes. On the other hand, it's ridiculous to declare war on an intangible enemy. One may as well declare a war on aging. Okay, there you go. I do appreciate that everyone's just super into the weird shit I found lying on the ground. That's very helpful. Oh, egg. An enemy likes those, I think. Well, just gonna have to wait. Let's see if we can't actually get through this event now. I saw that. The audacity. I had a feeling there would be something up here. I do like being correct. So who's y'all's favorite colonist so far? Out of curiosity. Didn't you die? Yes. Yes, you did. You looked suspiciously not dead. Hopefully these guys didn't descend from Australians. Well, if the humans did, they should be fine. Very resilient over there. You're taking a sample at the base of a tree when you feel something patter off of your head and fall to the ground. It's a nut? That's strange. The species doesn't usually... You look up and your stomach lurches when you realize you've been watched this whole time. A pair of familiar eyes peers down at you from the branches. It's Sim? He grins down at you. Well, well, well! If it isn't the little human. Have you come to visit me, Sugarbug? But I saw you die. Did you? He says slyly. You'd think I would remember that. If you did witness my death, I apologize, Sim continues. He reaches down from his branch, his long hair dangling just out of reach. I imagine I didn't enjoy it much either. Straight to flirting. You pout up at Sim, trying to look kissable, but he just stares down at you, uncomprehending. My apologies, he says, but I'm not entirely certain what you mean. What business? You really don't remember. Sim's thin lips form an even thinner line. I'm afraid I don't. Did I offend you in some way? Death has a way of wiping the slate clean. He gives you a little smile. It's me. I'm the slate. Embarrassment burns in your guts. You can't find the words to explain the moment you shared on the cliff. I guess I'm happy you're alive. Sim sighs gratuitously. I wish everyone felt that way, he mutters. One of my associates seems to feel otherwise. At your confused look, he waves his hand. One of the other gardeners, Noctilucent. They really don't care for you humans, I'm afraid, and they're aware I've taken an interest in you. With a soft whoomph, Sim drops gracefully out of the tree and dusts himself off. He claps you on the shoulder. I'd watch out for them if I were you, he says. They're quite dangerous. Sim turns to leave, but you sputter and grab his sleeve. You can't. After all that, you deserve some answers. Real ones. He owes you that. He turns to you, one arch eyebrow raised. What is it, Solana? What do you really do here? Sim gives you a blank smile. I am a gardener, he says simply. I was created to be a gardener, and I imagine I will be one until my services are no longer required. At your look of confusion, Sim softens. Humanity is so concerned with purpose, he says sadly. It is because you were not created for one, and you spend the entirety of your short lives under the impression that you need one. The concept of someone having a purpose must be seductive. He shrugs one elegant shoulder. My existence is simple. I act in the ways for which I was created. That is not an interesting answer for an individualistic species as yourselves, I am aware. Perhaps we must both accept that it may be beyond the human capacity to comprehend. Are you really Sim? The one and the same, Sim answers, carefully prying your hand from his clothing. I acknowledge that this is difficult for you to understand. He takes a deep breath, considering his words carefully. Humans have but one short window of consciousness, which encourages you to think of yourselves as individual points on the line of history. You are, quite clearly, not your parents or your grandparents or your unborn children. You are your own marvelous creature. He places his hand on his chest. I do not disappear when this form dies. I am eternal, in a sense. I am all who came before, and I am all whom will come after. I am my own legacy. I am symbiosis. He tilts his head to the side as if listening to something, and squeezes your hand. I fear I have said too much. I hope I can see you again, and that all may be revealed to you. I think my brain just fell out. That was a lot of information. Oh yeah, the Australians did lose the emo war, didn't they? Or emo. The emu war. I'm sure that was a valuable learning experience that they could learn from. Design-wise, tie between Tang and Nomi Nomi. Character-wise, Nomi. Ah, yeah. Nomi Nomi is fantastic. I love them. Tang, best design-wise. Nem and Corpse of Tammy for personality. I mean, I don't think the corpse has much of a personality. Aside from being dead. Didn't even reach 10 friendship with her poor lass. Alright, let's go see what this is in the Headache Building. You return with Dees to the pyramid in the ruined Wormhole Observatory. The Headache Building. This again? Dees asks, unsure. Are you sure you want to go in there? You approach the large pyramid in the center of the complex. Beside it is one of the smaller elevators, a little monolith with a round iris door. This is the place. Your head throbs with it. Even standing outside, you know there's something down there. Solana, is this building hurting you? Dees asks when he sees you rubbing your temple. Find a way in. You look for one of those elevator monoliths near the pyramid and find it, but it's overgrown with snaking vines and brambles, with very large flowers all over. You could push through them, but... Dees stops you and shows you a Geiger counter reading on his hollow palm. These flowers seem to be radioactive. Your suit won't protect you for long. Neutralize the radiation. Pass on by, no problem. Good thing you studied this plant earlier and know its wily ways. Tickle it just so and the radioactive flowers close. It parts to let you through. You enter the elevator, thankfully still working, and descend beneath the ground. It opens to a kind of antechamber with an exit at the other end, leading to the heart of the pyramid. There are glyphs carved into crystal panels on the walls, symbols that resemble the wormhole. You start across the room. The further you go, the more your head swims. You have to pause. You think you might faint. You shake your head, trying to clear it. Wait, maybe this is a bad idea. Keep going! The fog slowly clears from your eyes. Your head still hurts, but you can think again. Dees looks concerned, even going so far as to reach out to steady you. Are you okay? Keep going. Commit to the bit. Terrify Dees. Oh, shit. I guess we're coming back in 2 seasons again. Past the antechamber is a long hallway sloping down. Things around you are starting to look kind of weird, like 2 slightly different realities overlapping. Dees' face is starting to phase in and out of existence. You're hit with a strong wave of dizziness and nausea. Things seem to move in slow motion, but also far too fast. You lean over and black out. You slip unconscious. When you wake up, you're back at the collection site. Dees must have dragged you out and then called for help. Your headache is gone and a medical scan shows nothing wrong with you, but you feel completely weak and drained. Cool! At least it keeps letting us go back. Next time we go back, I'm just gonna skip the reading for up until where we went to. Because that's a lot and we don't need to hear it a 3rd time. So that needed toughness of 50, I think, or possibly 60. Or reasoning. Well, we're not getting the reasoning up, so toughness it is. Which I think is construction? We have that unlocked, don't we? No, we don't. Never mind. Okay, guess we're shoveling dirt the old-fashioned way. Wait, shoot. Okay, we do have the pet equipped to give us the bonus skill, so that's good. Because I can't change them now that they're stressed. Oh, we don't have the lower stress pet. Still. One of the best things about working in the gardens is that sometimes you can sneak a little carrot or something as a treat. 1 carrot isn't going to hurt anyone, you figure, and they're so sweet and good when you eat them right from the ground. Please wash your food. Saul, please. Don't eat the dirt. Oh, yeah. Okay, 10 stress or 25 stress. How else is that? Dirt is full of nutrients, though? I mean, yeah, but are they human nutrients? I feel like you could get an equal amount of nutrients and also not, mildly poisoned just by eating the carrot after you've cleaned it. Okay, we're not super stressed. Ooh, we're a little stressed. 40, 50, 60, 70. We should be fine. I think we only gain 30 stress. If that. So... do we have anything for anybody? No. This needs to go to Nem. I completely forgot to give Nem the egg. And it's a new season, which means we can gift everybody. Yeah. Here, have this thing I found on the ground. Weirdo. Where's Cal? I know Cal likes the boba fruit. Bobber fruit. Want to hear a fun nature fact? You tell him about the time Tang brought a skunk bug for show and tell in biology, and he got scared and made the worst, most smelliest, grossest stink you had ever smelled, and everyone thought Tang had farted. Then Professor Hal had to clean out the whole room, and it took weeks to get the smell out of the beanbags, and it was so gross. But also kind of neat, how such a tiny bug could make a whole room of kids run away. Cal laughs. I remember that, Solana. Except, the way I heard it, it wasn't Tang. It was you. And we'll never know the truth. You're looking around for Cal when you overhear him just around the other side of the geoponics dome. For the last time, leave me alone. Doesn't sound good. You get closer and find Cal facing down Rhett and Vase. They've cornered him, their body language calm and relaxed, while Cal's so angry he's almost shaking. Cal, please, listen to us, Rhett says, spreading his hands. We're not here to conscript you. I can't force you to join the army. All I'm saying is that I need good, loyal, strong young men like you out there on the front lines. Rhett smiles. You're a good boy, Cal. I admire your passion for peace and your dedication to fighting for it. That's why I'm here, asking you to help me protect the colony. Protect the colony? Cal spits. That's such a lie. You're not protecting anything. You're just slaughtering defenseless animals in their homes. It's disgusting. Hey, Vase retorts, taking a step forward with his fist raised. Show some respect. Cal squares up like he's ready to take the hit. For who? He asks, voice sharp. Psychopaths like you? Vase roars and looks like he's about to take a swing, but Rhett holds him back with one raised hand. Vase slinks back to Rhett's side, glowering at Cal. I can tell you need a bit more time, Rhett says. I just wanted you to know that my door is always open if... Get lost, Cal says, cutting Rhett off. Rhett looks surprised. I'm not interested. I never will be. Vase looks like he's about to lip off again, but Rhett speaks before he can. All I ask is that you keep it in the back of your mind, Cal. When you come around, I'll be happy to talk about your options. With that, they leave, Vase giving you a scathing look as they pass. Cal sits down heavily on the sack of fertilizer he must have been carrying before Vase and Rhett cornered him. This isn't even the first time, he mutters, his face in his hands. They're really dead set on getting me to join the hunting parties. I told them I don't want to kill anything, and Rhett was like, it's okay, you can just tell us how to kill them. He looks up, exasperated, like that's any better. I mean, he's pretty clearly made it clear he's not the guy for it, so wish they'd leave you alone. Me too, Cal sighs. They have a really messed up idea of what it means to serve the colony. Like, who do they think grows their food? Ghosts? Cal picks at a loose thread on the sack he's sitting on. Man, this whole war is light speed stupid, he mutters. Lum and his people come crashing in here and think that they run the place because they have bombs and guns, and nobody stops to think, like, maybe we're actually the invasive species here. See, that I agree with. A couple of years ago when he was like, we should never kill anything under any circumstances, that I disagreed with. I'm not getting my throat ripped out by a manticore for funsies. We need to live in harmony with nature. I'm glad you agree, Cal says. I just feel like we just showed up and plopped ourselves right in the middle of the food web, Cal continues. And we didn't even think for a second about the chaos that would cause in the ecosystem. We owe it to this planet to do our best to try to understand. Cal looks out towards the walls. Maybe the answer's out there, he says quietly. You go out on expeditions a lot, right? Can you keep an eye out for, like, the answer to everything? Cal's shoulders slump in a sigh, and he pushes himself to his feet. Man, I wish I could still talk about this stuff with an enemy, he says, slinging the sack of fertilizer over his broad shoulders again. You can see why Rhett wanted to get him in the defense force so badly. I miss her, Cal admits. I miss that we used to be so close when we were kids. He shakes his head. But she's gone all human supremacist now, and I just can't stomach that, you know? Fair enough, man's got a point. Oh, I'm injured. I don't think I can go on an expedition if I'm injured. Correct, I am forbidden. I'm not relaxing in the park again. The last time I did that, it was a 10-minute excursion. no, they're building a new crash. It took them long enough. There we go. Nope, that was... Don't know what the fuck I pressed there. Oh yeah, tank. Here. Have this thing I found on the ground. Wait. When's... Do I know Deese's... Okay, I don't know either of their birthdays, so... Here, have this. Well, it's not today. Alright. Our toughness is over 50. Let's go back out and try to succeed at this challenge. I'm gonna keep trying because I have no idea what the stat requirements are. I hope it said 50 and not 60. I legitimately can't remember what the toughness requirement was, so... Pray? Oh, you have something new to say. Sim materializes out of the forest before you. Solana, he says gravely, forgive my directness, but you must come with me now. He places his hand on your shoulder. Please trust me when I say I have done my best to argue on behalf of your kind. I hope only for the continued survival of humanity. Ominous. He crouches down to slide into a hidden opening under the roots of a tree. You follow, feeling strangely as if you're crawling into the belly of some animal. Oh, hey, Junpress! How are you guys doing? How was your stream? Welcome on in! Caught us in the middle of some mysteries. That was good. Super good. Even better. What are you guys playing? We're going well. One of our friendly friends that died actually turned out to not be dead anymore, so that was nice. 1 out of 7 was great. Oh, Teenage Exocolonist 2, nice. I will say, careful, we're on year 17, coming up to the end of year 17, so depending on where y'all are in that, might be some spoilers. Just like a fair warning and all that. Is this my first life? Yeah, this is our first run. Just getting like a feel for everything. Excuse me while I stretch. Actually, that was a really good stretch reminder. Right, let's hop back into it. He crouches down to slide into a hidden opening under the roots of a tree. You follow, feeling strangely as if you're crawling into the belly of some animal. You emerge into a cave filled with the hum of strange machinery. A bank of ancient-looking control panels and a crystal tank of glowing liquid seem almost to have grown out of the natural rock. Mineral deposits from moisture trickling down the walls have reclaimed some of them. Sim leads you to a console. This is the array, he says, pressing what seems to be buttons. As I've explained, this body I wear is only a vessel. My consciousness, the person who I am, is stored in the array. I return to it regularly, storing my body in the regeneration tank while I back up what I've learned that day into the array. Physical forms are prone to injury and death, Sim says quietly. It is temporary, but highly unpleasant. Therefore, The Overseer prefers to remain in the array. Sim directs you to two weirdly fungal growths. Please, take hold of these interface handles. Sim hails from the cloud. Apparently. You cautiously touch the handles and say, so the Overseer is a computer? The word software would be more accurate. A strange presence speaks in your head. Play it cool. They give us the option, we're gonna play it cool. You can feel the Overseer pause, then a sensation in your mind that reminds you of someone clearing their throat. I am the Overseer, the voice continues. I speak for the gardeners. We will now show you what we are. I mean, this is extremely weird, but let's not interrupt the Overseer. I'm ready. You have the oddest feeling of memories being inserted into your mind. First a trickle, then a flood. A civilization called the Convergent Domain once existed on this planet over 20,000 years ago. In your mind, you see their dominions stretched from pole to pole, their farms and solar arrays glittering on the surface as their massive cities tunneled below. I already know about the domain, apparently. We are aware of that, the Overseer replies, its voice dry in your mind. We know most everything that happens on this planet. The Convergent Domain created the gardeners as their ecological control system, a vast network of artificial intelligences stored deep underground in a digital array. Self-propagating control towers and cloning stations were seeded, allowing a gardener program to take biological form, downloading a copy of its consciousness into a host body created to suit the task at hand. You think of Sim, his body created to suit the task of befriending you? Under the direction of the Convergent Domain, the gardeners controlled the weather, the acidity of the soil, the cultivated species in their farms, and the rapidly shrinking wild areas of the planet. The Overseer doesn't quite sigh, but you get the impression it would. Over time, the Domain nearly destroyed this planet. They didn't respect nature. Correct, the Overseer responds. They saw the natural world as an unending buffet of resources. The exhaust from their factories blanketed the planet, choking out sunlight and oxygen. They consumed too much, destroyed the planet's ecosystem, then fought bitterly over the remaining resources. The last directive the gardeners were given by the Domain was to repair the planet's destroyed ecosystem, the Overseer says solemnly. The gardeners tried, but it was too late. When the crops failed and atmosphere became too thick for sunlight to pierce, the Convergent Domain perished by the billions. The last survivors took to the sky in colony ships and never returned. You try to imagine a tragedy on this scale, but it's just too enormous, too abstract to wrap your head around. The Overseer continues relentlessly, new thoughts flooding into your mind. Over the millennia, the gardeners took their task seriously. It takes little effort to render a planet inhospitable, but significant dedication to restore it. Under the guidance of the gardeners and the final directive of the Convergent Domain, nature at last reclaimed the barren planet. The garden existed in perfect balance, and now your species has invaded it. We had nowhere else to go. Your kind had the option to stay where they were, the Overseer replies, the tone of its thoughts darkening. Do you think we have empathy for the Convergent Domain who fled on colony ships? The ones who selfishly refused to give their bodies back to the planet they had destroyed with their pride. You chose to come here, the Overseer continues, and you continue to stay here. You could instead choose to die. You shudder involuntarily. Some vertumnant species have a technique of future sight, which the gardeners harness to catch glimpse into the web of timelines. We see that you possess this technique too, alone in your kind. We have foreseen that humans pose a great danger to this planet. You are a monoculture, an invasive species. You throw our hard-won balance in disarray. Since arriving, you have shown nothing but a willingness to consume the planet's resources and replace them with more humans. We didn't even know you were here. Okay, that's not a really good one, because we knew the rest of it was here. We have as much right to live as anything. Please don't murder us all. Your mind fills with images of species rising and going extinct over thousands of years. Animals, with their short lives, are ignorant creatures. They care only for survival and for the survival of their children. They have no concept of a legacy that spans the lifetime of a planet. They cannot be blamed, for living is their only purpose. But humans are animals with the power of gods. You consume recklessly, and your ceaseless fear of death fouls your every action. You shape the planet, you bend nature to your will, thinking only of yourselves. This is a power no animal should have. Most gardeners would prefer to stamp you humans out like encroaching weeds, the overseer says without malice. Indeed, we have tried, using ecologically compliant organic methods. We are impressed at your tenacity to withstand these eradication procedures. The yearly attacks, the famine, the pollen, not random natural occurrences at all, but gardener tactics to encourage the eradication of pests. But symbiosis speaks in defense of your kind, the overseer continues, and took effort to convince us that you were sentient and capable of communication. You present us with a quandary. You come from the stars, refugees of a catastrophe of your own design, one that you are intent to recreate here on a planet which still bears the scars of the last time it was used carelessly. So, we ask, what are we to do with you? Humans can change. Help us. Let's coordinate this. I'm in danger. So we teach your kind to be stewards of nature, the overseer replies. Perhaps your children take up the mantle as well, and their children. But soon you are dead, as are your children's children. Generations pass. No one alive remembers the time the gardeners came to the humans and taught them the proper ways to live. And now there are too many of you to teach, and your behavior is too entrenched. What then? Genocide? You have no answer. There is silence in your head, and you only hear the sound of water trickling down the cave walls and the gentle hum of the machines. Eventually, the overseer speaks in your mind one last time. For now, you may leave freely. We will consider this quandary, and we will be monitoring you and the other humans. You feel a strange pull at your consciousness as you remove your hands from the interface. There you have it, Sim murmurs. That is my boss. Your boss needs to get out more. Sim huffs, like he's afraid to laugh. Mr. Svarog over here needs to learn what thinking with feeling is. I don't think he can. He walks over and runs his hands over the consoles. And now you know how to connect to the array, he says quietly, but you should not come here unless I am with you. Sim takes your hands and looks at you solemnly. When you interface with the array, you hold everything we are in your hands. It took a great deal of negotiating to convince my fellow gardeners to trust you with this power. Please, do not prove this trust mistaken. I forgot that wasn't even the boss event we came here to do. Your boss needs to touch grass. Well, I mean, I wouldn't phrase it quite like that in front of the boss, but yeah, a little bit. Cool. AI planet. Not deeply concerning at all. Okay, we've already gone through here twice, so I'm going to skip ahead to the last stat check that we failed. Okay, we've checked the plants. Keep going. Your stress isn't that high. Keep going. Let Dees have a panic over it. Okay. Past the antechamber is a long hallway sloping down. Things around you are starting to look kind of weird, like two slightly different realities overlapping. Dees' face is starting to phase in and out of existence. You're hit with a strong wave of dizziness and nausea. Things seem to move in slow motion, but also far too fast. You lean over and tough it out. You keep going. At the bottom of the hallway are more crystal panels on the walls, many facets broken. Or are they whole? The walls have crumbled and roots creep over everything, but also they don't. Every time you blink, the room seems to flip and swim between the two realities. All the same, you feel absolutely compelled to continue. What is with this place? Dees is both there and not there. The part of him which exists looks concerned. We need to leave now, he says. This place is hurting you. There's a round iris door at the end of the hall. Are you sure you want to go any further? One more room. You pass through the doorway into a large square chamber with a sloping ceiling. Your sense of this place, of the vibrations, is telling you this must be directly under the big pyramid on the surface. The floor and even the air here thrums with vibrating energy. Ugh, even I can feel it now, Dees mutters behind you, rubbing his head. The room is empty except for a raised platform in the middle, which looks enticingly like a bed, which is convenient because you are definitely going to faint this time. You collapse onto the platform and are overcome by a spectacular migraine headache. It feels like your head is going to explode. Endure the pain. I'm going to be so mad if we fail this check. Alright, 7, 6, 5. Oh wow, that's a solid 10, nice. 34, and we can push through, but let's see if we can get 36, 34. What if we scoot you up there, scoot you up there? No, you need to go there. You need to go there. 34, 36. $39, slightly less stress. I'll take it. Hell yeah. You slip into some kind of waking dream, layers upon layers of visions. Dees is your lover, or Mars, or Tammy. You're a boy and a girl, or both and neither. Young and old, a farmer, a hunter, a politician. You're dead and you're alive and you've never been born. Time unravels before you, an infinite tapestry crumbling wherever you look. It's all very weird. You see the web of possibilities and understand what time truly is. It's all happening at once, and none of it will ever happen. It's only sheer chance that any one possibility comes into existence, not any intrinsic truth of the universe, of fate. It's just a glimpse, probably over in a second, but a glimpse of an eternity you can hardly fathom. Then you see the wormhole, enormous in a starry sky. You look down and see yourself on a plateau, gazing up at it. You recognize the place, a gnarlwood bluff not far from the colony, alive with the phosphorescence of glow season. This you seems expectant, as if waiting for something momentous to arrive, something that will change everything. The vision is crystal clear, and you feel in control in a way you haven't since you started having these visions. You know you must go there. You wake up feeling refreshed. Your headache is gone. You're still a little dizzy, but the room has stopped spinning and has returned to one singular reality again. The vibrations have stilled. Deese's face fills your vision. Solana, he exclaims. Solana, are you okay? I mean, we've told him everything else. Tell Deese about this. He listens in awe and then in dejection as you describe your visions. Why didn't I see it? He sighs. I was here too. I want to know everything. Okay, that's not supposed to be there, but sure. I know why that's there. You reload a save, it thinks you've already done it before. Include the juicy bits. Because that's how, Ingrid, you learned that firsthand, didn't you? You tell Deese that you saw visions of yourself and him being intimate. His face goes red. You saw that? He stammers. Wow. He holds your hand. We both know why that's there. Okay. I don't mind admitting that this is officially my first playthrough because this is the first save that I ever did in this game. I've played it 10 times in the last 5 days. Don't fucking ask me why. We know there's a reason I only had 3 hours sleep last night. But I also wiped the saves. Wiped the past memories. That is actually there because I reloaded a save. Cheeky little shit. The audacity of some people coming in here thinking I don't know how to clear out my feckin' save files. The cheek. The cheek! Okay. We're gonna skip it because it's not supposed to be there. Didn't delete the app data folder, did you though? I shouldn't have needed to. Because the settings menu provides a fucking setting for it. Anyway, just focus on the science of it. You barely understand the words that are coming out of your own mouth. Words like resonance and continuum and paradoxical reimaginings. You sound like tangent, Dee says, and for once it doesn't sound like an insult. You feel like you've just had some kind of mega prophecy, but it was too much all at once and too hard to understand. Could the conversion domain handle this kind of information? Could they remember past lives like you? Is that what this room, this observatory, was meant for? The only thing you remember clearly from the visions is that image of yourself during glow season, standing at the top of that gnarlwood bluff just outside the colony, waiting for something. I think we're actually done here now, so we'll go home. Time to go tuck the wormhole? No. And there's a very good reason for that. Although, interesting, I did not know you could get that on a first playthrough. Or, well, I suppose it was supposed to be a fresh playthrough, but we got there, like, this was the only save file I had in existence for this game. Up until, like, last weekend. So that is manual work. Also, I'm just gonna, there we go. Rerun that. It's possible reopening it on Steam may have pulled it down, some of the data down from the cloud, so that was a pain in the hole. But yeah, I would say I may have gotten a little bit addicted and played it legit like 10 times over the last 7 days. Help. Here, have a thing I found on the ground. Oh, it's her birthday. Happy birthday. I'm glad you don't hate those. Yeah, never mind. You can sod off. Didn't like him anyway. I'm not gonna go touch the fucking wormhole. It's dangerous. Bad for my health. Well. But also, I think, in fairness, if you want to see the way that a story spins out if you sneak out through glow, I would highly recommend getting the game because, like, I think it's worth it, and it is rapidly becoming one of my favorites. I'm just looking at my stats trying to figure out what career we were going for. I can't remember. Animals is maxed, I assume that's related. Combat. You know what? Glow's coming up. Let's buff our combat. I don't want to get murdered. The good news is, in my sleep-deprived haze, I don't remember. I wasn't going for a career, I was winging it. Sweet! Let's go shoot something. That gives us vase friendship. I don't really want that. I mean, I do, like, the ending is super good, but... you know what? Let's go do something that makes Tang happy at us. Do defense? No, fuck him. Combat and Nem. Counter offer though, Tang. Yeah, I'm not tutoring children. Engineering. To further your engineering knowledge, you're taking a mini-class with Chief Engineer Instance on the construction and maintenance of your holopalms. These devices are engineered bismuth crystals embedded in your palms when you start school. They use the heat and electric current of the human body to power themselves, to talk to each other, and connect to the HoloNet, Congruence's massive repository of information. You can barely remember a life before yours. Holopalms were commonplace by the time the Vertamna group first formed on Earth, and the square bismuth is grown in the lab, Instance explains. So the physical device itself isn't hard to maintain. The difficulty is in the display and touch interface. Instance opens her holopalm, displaying a visible projected screen floating above her palm. As chief engineer, she also has one of the fancier versions that combines with a pair of eyeglasses to superimpose a projection right onto what she sees. The interface relies on plasma voxel generators, which require extremely small components that are impossible to nanoprint. The material will have to be mined from Vertamna itself. Tang raises her hand. Is it possible to hack these devices? She asks. If the biological electronic interface is so thin, is it possible to hack the human body? In a way, we've already begun to hack the human body, Instance replies. What do you call gene tech? Everything the body does and is capable of depends on 4 nucleobases in different configurations. It's no different than congruence. Human and artificial intelligences are both built from a limited code and are transformed into more by the building. Your genetic enhancements, super hearing and sight, temperature regulation, increased resistance to fear, disease, and fatigue, all present in the human genome and unlocked by the power of science. Falling a little bit in love with Tang again? Yeah, she's great. The class splits into working groups. To explore the installing modules on your holopalm, you and Tangent are in a group together. She begins installing a mod that will let her scan inorganic materials and get a reading of their chemical compositions. What do you do? Sure. I mean, if we can, just download your own mod. Tang raises an eyebrow, impressed. What module do you choose? Oh, that would be super helpful. Something to help find lost objects. Ding! A portion of Congruence's immense and miraculous intelligence will now be dedicated to making sure you never lose your canteen or your sunglasses. Isn't technology great? Push through. We'll be fine. We actually will gain nothing from sneaking out during glow anyway, because we're too stressed. I forgot. Yeah, it's fine. Go relax on the walls. Actually... Glow looks so pretty. Yeah, it does. Okay, tell you what, we'll sneak out. We won't be able to do much out there because we're way too stressed out, but let's go take a look at least. No one is allowed outside the colony during glow, so if you stay out of the lookout sites, there will be nobody to catch you. It also means that you're alone out here. If you get into trouble, it's going to be big trouble. You hope you know what you're doing. The familiar is unfamiliar during glow. The sky is dark except for the eerie light of the wormhole, seeming so much closer than it usually is, and the gloom makes the shadows deeper and more mysterious. It's so hauntingly quiet that you can even hear the movement of animals, the beat of soft wings, a woof of something large in the distance. What's that curious sound? It's just a Dorbs moth taking flight. Its usually dull plumage is an iridescent rainbow, glowing warmly in the dark of glow. It slowly glides through the mushroom trees. You've been taught to be terrified of glow season since you landed here, that there were monsters out there, circling the colony and attacking anything they saw. But it's so much more serene than you were expecting. Maybe they were wrong, or lying to you. What do you think? I'm so lost. Oh, I forgot when the Helios landed, the vicinity of the colony changed because they made it bigger. And look who's here. Shadows upon shadows move against each other in glow, wavering under the gloaming of the mush trees like ghosts. The forest is as still as a creature breathing its last breath. You don't see Sim until you're practically on top of him. Hi, sugar bug, he laughs, holding you by the shoulders. Miss me? You nearly didn't there. I totally saw you there. Sim smiles. Of course you did. You're practically made for this place. Sim starts to walk through the forest, his footsteps finding the path with ease. This is my favorite time of year, you know, he says. I get the sense that you humans are afraid of it. Well, things do tend to attack us. That's true, Sim replies, tilting his head with a funny expression. Those attacks are not natural, as you may have guessed. Glow isn't dangerous at all. It's lovely. He smiles. Glow is a time of healing, actually. A time for the creatures of this planet to go dormant and reflect on themselves and to strengthen connections with other life forms. Of course the planet repels you, he adds, raising his hand to stir a cloud of glowing spores drifting above your heads. You don't connect. You're like a burr lodged against its skin. Sim continues walking. I'm sure you have some questions for me, as usual, he says, his voice wry. Seriously, what's up with the wormhole? Sim laughs. Just like that? You'd like me to unravel the mysteries of the universe for you? Suffice it to say, I don't think you could fully understand it even if I explained everything I know. He looks up at the wormhole with a thoughtful expression. Truthfully, the wormhole is older than even this planet, he murmurs. It operates on a level of space and time that are beyond even my comprehension. The universe is impossibly vast and unknowable. I'm sure you've already noticed that it's related to your foresight, yes? He asks, and you nod. Your dreams, if that's what they are, always seem to get worse in wet and glow when the wormhole is close to the planet. Many individuals such as yourself are sensitive to a wormhole's effect of time and space, fluctuations and eddies in the normal linear flow of reality. Think of it like an echo, only not your own. Think of it as if a version of yourself stood in this spot and shouted, then moved forward in time before hearing her own voice return. You can hear those echoes, choices that person made, and events she experienced that may not come to pass for yourself. I'm not the only one? Sim shakes his head. No, though you may be the only human. We gardeners have lived under this wormhole for thousands of years, he adds. Some of us have developed a sensitivity to it as well. We use it to guide us in tending to the planet. Sim stops walking and smiles politely. Well, that is enough. Oh, it's in the song. That is enough for now. The trees have ears, you know. Sorry, the fucking beat that cropped up in the song. I thought something was breaking in my walls. Yoink. And we're gonna head back without doing any events. Oh, there we go, snagging on the scenery. Can I? Okay, go home. Yeah, we're fine. You're just about to put your boots on to grab dinner in the lounge when you hear the colony's sirens begin to wail. It's the yearly attack. Ugh, they couldn't have waited until you ate dinner? Rude. Outside your window, you watch the colony defense begin to mobilize. Your hollow palm chimes with the usual reminders for all civilian colonists to stay indoors. Oh, in we go. You head to the garrison to grab a plas rifle, then report to the front. Chief Rhett looks surprised to see you, but assigns you to a squad with Nem and tells you to get up on the walls and do your best. On the other side of the walls is more Xenos than you've seen in one place, ever. They seethe out of the forest, large and small, herbivorous and predatory, fungal and otherwise, flying and crawling and hopping towards the colony with a single-minded determination. The air fills with the phew-phew of laser turrets and the crackle of plasma rifles. The enemy's front line collapses, only to be replaced by even more Xenos. Just as many as before, if not more. There's no end to it. The firebreak turns into a graveyard of dead and dying animal bodies, wave after wave crawling over the corpses until they roil at the base of the walls like the foam on a wave when it hits the shore. You hear the walls creaking underneath you, but they hold strong. There's no sun to set in Glow, but night falls on the battlefield without any break in the fighting. Your fingers begin to cramp from pulling the trigger of your plas rifle. Finally, you're relieved by the second guard shift. You walk straight into the garrison and right into a dreamless sleep. You're awoken 6 hours later for your next shift. The kitchens have provided the soldiers with pressed soy rations and hot black tea, which you grab, then make your way back to the walls to survey the carnage of the night. As you arrive, your hollow palm lights up with a priority message. Security personnel, we are under siege, the security chief says, getting right to the point. On Earth, sieges were used to break a city by starvation or drought. We have plenty of food and water. Guards will rotate 6 hours on, 6 off. So long as we keep the Xenos on the other side of the wall, we can hold them off for days. Weeks, even. Weeks? Everyone exchanges exhausted looks. He pauses, then adds, we can do this. We're stronger than them, and we're not going anywhere. You and the other soldiers fall into a fitful rhythm, alternating shifts on the wall with brief snippets of sleep. Gunfire becomes the soundtrack of your days, which begin to smear together like paste. Nem in particular is suffering. She volunteers for relief shifts, sometimes pulling doubles or triples on the wall. You catch her mechanically shoveling soy porridge into her mouth before seeming to fall asleep sitting up. A minute later, she jolts awake as someone's spoon clatters against their bowl. Tempers grow short as fatigue sets in. 6 days pass. You're on shift, watching the Xenos batter themselves against the walls. You feel your eyes unfocus at the sheer formless horde of them. In all these days, they still haven't breached the colony. Sometimes they even seem to retreat, ebbing backwards and reforming somewhere else. It's behavior you've never seen before. A group of monsters breaks from the tree line, nothing new except for one of them. One of the Xenos looks different from the others, almost humanoid. What is that thing? The creature looks suspiciously like a person, at least from the waist down. Down below, it's at least from the waist up. Down below, it's a lumbering chimera, vaguely reminiscent of a faceless, wrapped in tattered bits of flesh and bony protrusions. Something like hair flutters behind it as it turns, and looks right at you with an unnerving, malevolent intelligence. You rub your eyes. Yeah, it's still there. It approaches to the base of the wall, and the other monsters surge forward on to pound it against the gates. Might as well try to talk to it. Can't go wrong. You wave to it, and the creature sneers, and, to your surprise, it approaches the wall. Little weed, they address you in a halting, rasping voice. Everything seems to go quiet nearby as you strain to understand this talking horror. Child of breeding rabbits, feral pig, kazoo. Its unnervingly human gaze pierces you. Introduced species, you understand? You wonder if you're hallucinating. Is it holding a gun? You slowly nod, yes. You understand the words, at least. I am noctilucent, the monster says, through a voice box that seems better suited to guttural roars than human language. A gardener. Designation, pest control. I perform my task, unlike a gardener's symbiosis. Sim. Yes, now that they're standing still, you can still see the seed of Sim's slightly inhuman features staring back at you. Their hair is a bit like Sim's as well, as if it's actually alive somehow, waving in a wind that isn't there. Why are you trying to kill us? Who are you talking to? You jump as Nem sneaks up behind you, and when you look, Noctilucan is gone. Nobody, don't worry about it. You shake your head and mumble something about needing sleep. You promised Sim you wouldn't talk about the gardeners. She nods and pats your shoulder. This siege is getting to everybody, Solana. It's okay. Finally, after the 6th day of the siege, you look down the sights of your plas rifle and see a curious thing. The monsters are retreating. As you gather with the other soldiers in the colony square, your holopalm lights up with a priority announcement from Governor Lum. The alien attackers have been defeated, he says. The siege has ended. Lum smiles broadly and puffs out his chest. Another year, another win. You're welcome, Vertumna. You're welcome, humanity. You're welcome? You hear, and see Chief Rat nearby, looking livid. What did he do? He rants to his security officers. Race out there like an idiot with his honor guard? Defend strategically unsound positions? Put himself in danger so he had to save his overstuffed ass? The soldiers all shift uncomfortably, but no one disagrees. And when I actually needed him? Rhett continues, taking his 12-hour beauty rest while the rest of us slog through endless shifts. The soldiers are exhausted from the siege, so the crowd in the square disperses quickly. Only a few Helios remain, covertly filming Rhett while he continues to rail against Lum. On the horizon, the first rays of quiet streak the sky with lavender. You watch Utopia's reclamation crew head out through the gates to begin vaporizing xenocorpses for their component molecules. That night, you have terrible dreams. You imagine that you're sieging the colony, that you're a creature crawling in the mud on your belly, the ozone crackle of plas rifle fire arcing overhead. With your taloned claws, you rip into the walls like they're made of clay, stuffing choking handfuls of it in your mouth. In a moment of lucidity, you try to pull the clay from your throat, but no matter how hard you pull, it just never ends. You jolt awake when you realize you've been pulling your own guts out of your throat. Just a dream. You're shaking and coated in a film of terror sweat, your heart pounding. You don't find sleep again before dawnbreak. Cool. What do we even have on us? Alright, dump this on base. Here, catch. Yes, you're still complaining about Rex, aren't you? Oh, we already knew that. Oh shoot, that's because I had to flush the system after relearning the save. Tangent is about to duck back into engineering when you approach. She winces and shields her eyes from the sun. She looks at you miserably, and you notice that her right eye is glowing faintly. It's my new hollow eye implant, Tang says. Its ghostly glow snaps in and out of existence as she blinks. I seem to be experiencing some unpleasant side effects from it, similar to that of an ocular migraine, Tang confesses. Instant warned me that this level of visual information can be difficult for the human brain to comprehend at first. You agree to follow her into engineering to get out of the sun. It's similar to a hollow palm, she explains, still holding her forehead and squinting, but with an infinitely large screen because it projects directly into the oculus. It used to belong to Dr. Instance, but she passed it down to me to help with my work. I'm sure you'll get used to it soon, because I feel like she'd object to me telling her she should probably take it out. Tang sets her jaw and nods, determined. I know it will. It's only pain. It's more than an implant, Tang continues, as you follow her to the medbay labs. Hollow eyes are on the very forefront of human augmentation. They represent our next steps towards ascending as a species. She touches the red scar where her hollow palm used to be. No more clunky screens, no more privacy concerns, she says quietly. Elegant, integrated design. It observes the motion of my hands and uses it to generate an AR interface for my entire field of vision. It's partly powered by my own metabolism through the magnets embedded in my skull. It's beautiful. No one else is here. You hear the gentle hum of experiments running in the corner. This kind of technology is so far beyond what we're capable of reproducing in the colony. Tang sighs, rubbing her temple under the implant. Once they're gone, they're gone. Maybe Earth will send us a shipment of new ones someday, but I expect they've developed something more advanced since we left Earth. I suppose it's more likely they've forgotten about us completely. Bring, bring. The quiet hum of the laboratory is shattered by an alarm. Tang jumps at the sudden noise and shuts her eyes tight. I have to get this, she mutters, gesturing in the air to silence the ringing. The simulation I'm running is time-sensitive, she explains. The specimens require minute changes to their environment every 2 hours. Temperature, humidity, light levels. She grimaces. If we had better automation, this wouldn't be a problem. I could do it! Tangent considers this. Yes, you have proven yourself to be trustworthy in the lab, she says. It's experiment 2A on the wall there. She slumps down on the floor beside you, rests her head on her arms. Go tell me what you see, and I will walk you through it. With Tang's assistance, you set the new environmental parameters for her experiment, which seems to involve fungal growths of some kind. It's unfamiliar to you, but you're able to follow Tang's instructions easily. Tang breathes a sigh of relief when you return. That should buy me 2 more hours. Tang shifts over, wordlessly inviting you to sit down beside her. Her arm is cool to the touch as it rests against yours. Tang turns to you. Thank you for your assistance. It was nothing. Tang gives you a slight smile, barely visible in the faint glow of her hollow eye. Then, thanks for nothing, I suppose, she says. Please don't tell Instance that my body is adjusting poorly to the hollow eye, she adds. It's only temporary. This stupid flesh prison is not allowed to draw the limits of my form. Yep, definitely no issues there with her. I need a fucking vacation. Sure, we'll keep both of them. You roll out of bed at noon because you're allowed to, because it's your birthday, but also because you're exhausted. You barely slept at all last night. You've been having these nightmares since the siege, more and more every night, like they're trying to tell you something urgent. You can't make any sense of it. All the imagery is jumbled together, all these possibilities and timelines and things that might happen. Some nights you wake up in a cold sweat, a scream already in your throat. You sit on the edge of your bed, run a hand through your hair, and check your hollow palm. A few people wished you happy birthday, but that's all. You guess they're getting older. The birthdays aren't as important as they used to be. Right, and Mars wants to meet you for lunch in the lounge today. You'll have to practice your smile. As you enter the lounge, Surprise! You do your very best to play along and act surprised. Woo! Streamers! Balloons! Great! All of your friends are standing around, wearing goofy hats and clapping. Nomi is holding a bunch of balloons larger than they are, and Rex is wearing a cute little waiter's outfit with a bow tie. You accept their hugs and birthday wishes, trying to hide your exhaustion and demurring with a few pointed, "All this for me you shouldn't have. No, really." Rex wanders around with a tray full of little snacks, offering them to everyone with a vampy accent and a silly, airheaded giggle. The goofball act chips away at the natural awkwardness of a surprise party, that is, the first 5 minutes after everyone shouts surprise, and soon enough everyone is laughing and enjoying themselves. Despite your exhaustion, you start to smile too. Your friends are so amazing, and they're all here because they care about you. Then you get some unexpected guests. The lounge begins to fill with Helio kids, mostly ones you don't know, the ones who usually keep to themselves and, well, don't much like you original stratospheric kids. Vase and Nem are with them, his arm draped over her shoulders. Nem gives you a little wave of acknowledgement for your birthday, which earns a weird look from Vase. "Hey, who invited you guys?" Cal says, stepping forward with his hands clenched. "This is a private party." "It's a public lounge," Vase replies. "We can sit wherever we want." Cal stomps right into the midst of the Helios. "You guys think that just because you fell out of the sky, you're the wormhole's gift to Vertumna," he spits out. "We don't need you. We never needed you. All you do is make things worse, like this party." You've rarely seen Cal so ready for a fight. He doesn't seem to care that the body language of the Helio kids has changed from cocky to dangerous. You're just a bunch of fascists," Cal continues. "You and Lum." The lounge erupts, chairs screeching across the floor as the Helios jump to their feet yelling at Cal, calling the colony illegal and Cal a fugitive. They jostle him around, but Cal plants his feet and stands his ground. You hear a bottle breaking and see someone advancing on Cal. He's not backing down. "No, we're not letting them bottle Cal. Nem, get your boyfriend and his fucking weeds to leave." Nem, make them stop. "Hey, come on guys, cut it out," Nem says tiredly. "It's Solana's birthday, don't make it a big thing." They seem to respect her, so they back down, but not before a few parting libelous shots at Cal's parentage and alleged actions with animals. She turns to Cal and pokes her finger in his chest. "You provoked them on purpose," she says angrily. "I'm not your friend anymore. Don't ask me to stick up for you if you're being an asshole." "Well," Mars exclaims, clapping her hands. "That was enough excitement, I think. Let's move on to the important part. Cake and presents." Under Mars's skillful party-hosting hand, the mood shifts back to festive. You enjoy your presents and your cake, but tensions boiling over like that is a bad omen for the rest of the year. Let's see, what do we got? And I'm not allowed to, like, dome the fucking Helios lads, unfortunately. Okay, well, you are cranky. Who is going up? Mars is going up. Sorry, Nomi, but there's absolutely no chance I'm going to be able to raise your friendship enough, so you're getting abandoned for the Mars. Here, you like these? Yes, good. I'm glad I was right on that, because I wasn't entirely certain. Oh, hey! Hey, Rex, I got a present for you. Here we go. Right, what were we doing? Ah, yes. Pestering nature. All events have respawned. Doesn't tell me if there's a boss fight unless I go out there, so out we go. Not a boss fight, a boss event. Same thing. But also, we should be able to find more crystals, ideally, so we can... Oh, these will do. Throw them at people. I mean, gift them to people. Oh, see? Perfect. Utopia, what are you doing here? Utopia has sent a team of geologists to get a closer look at this region's weird terrain. You come across them working, and Utopia beckons you over. Solana! She says, drawing everyone's attention to you. Solana, come here. Everyone, Solana's been working in this area a while, and I'm sure she's got plenty of information on what's out here. The geologists politely turn towards you and listen. Here's what we've got so far, Utopia says, speaking directly to you. Judging by how the layers of sedimentation are broken up, this place used to be pretty flat before there must have been a ton of earthquake activity, ripping up the land and bringing up these huge ridges. We can date the quakes around the time a lot of these ruins were created, she adds, and we're looking, but we haven't seen anything built after them. Like, that was it for the old conversion domain. These broken up layers are the same across the planet. Something sure happened about 20,000 years ago. Share your findings on the obsidian layer. You explain that below the sands there's a thick layer of the dark silica crystal obsidian stuff the conversion domain uses. Utopia nods. Right, you can see it in the striations, yeah? It's one of the major landmarks in the geological timeline. Obsidian and earthquakes are both associated with volcanoes, but there are no volcanoes here. Not even a fault line, Utopia says, wiping her forehead. It's just not natural. Share your findings on the crystals. The crystals soak up energy from the sun and transfer it underground. What if that energy was unleashed suddenly? Utopia watches, bemused, as the geologists crunch numbers. It would have been an enormous amount of energy, but if this region was one big solar battery, that kind of energy, the energy of 2 suns, could definitely cause earthquakes of the magnitude that could rip apart the land. Sure, let's snitch on the gardeners. It'll be fine. Share your findings on the gardener's array. The what now? Utopia asks. I ain't ever heard of that, she says, and the geologists all exchange similar looks. You explain that the conversion domain had this huge computer network, and some of it is still running. It was used to study and maintain the planet. It might even be dangerous. Utopia doesn't look convinced. I'm not one to throw out a theory, but that's pretty far-fetched, Solana. All we've seen are ruins. She squints and thinks it over. Well, if it's true, maybe something went wrong with this array, and it overloaded all its solar crystals. That level of cataclysmic disaster is the sort of thing what might end a civilization. Okay, I'm not gonna snitch on Sim, because I like him more than the rest of the gardeners, so he gets some actual privacy. Help them work. You set up a drone hive to measure the sediment layers along the cliffside and learn a few things about rocks. Oh shoot, that reminds me. Do we have... There we go. Slightly less stress. Let's go see if there is an event. Free rocks, hell yeah. No free rocks, tragic. Sim has nothing new to say. Oh wait, there's rocks up here. Well, it's not a rock. I guess there are technically rocks up here. There's a lot of them, just none of them we're allowed to take with us. Oh, not another thumper. I hate those ones. They're so noisy. There's a lot of crystals around today, huh? Come here, you noisy shit. You're back in the wormhole observatory with Dees, just to poke around. Who knows what you might find? You bravely try all the elevators. Some are broken. One gets stuck for an hour and you think you're gonna die in there, then it chugs to life. Then you find the orrery. It's a beautiful room under one of the smaller pyramids. The light from your hollow palm glimmers off the crystals in rainbow colors, dotting the walls and ceiling in familiar constellations. There's one huge crystal plate embedded in the wall, engraved with deep glyphs. Convergent domain writing, you guess, and some kind of map? In the center is clearly a representation of the wormhole. Lines extend from the wormhole to other points on the map, and many more glyphs you can't read. The crystal is cut up into shards like it could move around, but it's still and dark, and probably has been for thousands of years. You run your hands around the panel, looking for a way to turn it on. Your hands encounter a slot. Upon further inspection, it seems to match one of the artifacts you've picked up in your surveying. You slot the glowing pick device into the slot. The crystal panes on the walls come to life, the glyphs on them glowing. They start to move in an unnervingly organic way, like melting into water and sliding over the surface, rearranging themselves. It's not just writing, the very surface of the panel raises and lowers like braille. The glyphs pulse and glow the same swirly purple-pink as the glowing device, which you realize must be a power source, a convergent domain battery. It's like an orrery for the wormhole? This must be one of the best preserved bits of convergent domain technology you've found yet, and an excellent sample of their writing. It's wild to think that the gardeners are another piece of old tech just like this place. You're starting to piece together the glyphs of the Converger's language. You can recognize the symbols for Vertumna, the wormhole, and Converger, and basic verbs like being and going, and one that seems to mean bending or twisting that's used all over the place. It starts to get easier. You think your brief connection to the array must have left some of the Converger's language in your subconscious. It's all so much to take in, and it's getting late. Better bring all your recordings back and let Congruence and the rest of the archaeology team crunch away at it for a bit. They'll be thrilled. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's get some actual work done out here. There's all these events that we've just been ignoring. Oh, no. The sun goes behind a cloud and you feel a light drizzle of rain. It sizzles onto the dry, hot ground around you, providing a little relief from the heat of the day. And then you realize you don't see a single cloud in the sky ahead of you, and it almost never rains in the western resting ridges. The plants here rely on nighttime dew for moisture. Just run. Ain't nobody need to know about that. You bolt for cover with your hands thrown over your head. You don't care what's up there. You just know that was no rain. Cool. Let's not try events in this area anymore. First one I get pissed on by my bird. I'm inclined to take that personally. I think we might have... Let me see if a new boss event has spawned in. If not, I think we may have actually wrapped up with our explorations. Nope, no new boss event. I suppose we'd actually better, help around the colony. Be useful for some degree. Excellent. These are garbage. However, give me a birthday cake. Somebody's gonna need one. Oh, did I grab one from Tammy? No, I didn't. Okay. Yes. Okay, it looks like everybody's been kitted out. Huh? We should probably just raise some of these stats, but... You pass the construction yard on your way to work at the depot. Rex waves you over. Hey, come take a look at this, he says, leading you over to where a portion of the heliosphere is being married to the old living quarters with a scaffolding of mushwood. Isn't this wild? It's like our two ships are actually going to become one. He throws his arm around your shoulder. It's like a metaphor, get it? The colony and us from the Helio learning how to work together. How we build our environment affects how we live, you know? Nope. You should really come by and help me, he continues. It's really fun. You get to build things, and the construction crew is really nice. And you get to hang out with me. Wait, why not start right now? He hands you a plas cutter, a gun-shaped tool that emits a thin beam of superheated plasma. No time like the present, right? Seek says we always need more workers here. But you do have another job that you promised to do. Yes, but this one gives me a stat boost, I think. Okay, a different stat than I was expecting, but... You help Rex hold up part of a wall while he fits a bracket in place. There's a lot of pounding and wiggling to get it to fit, which delights Rex every time he gets to make a joke about it. It's sweaty, rewarding work, and you learn something about engineering while you're at it. Chief Administrator Seek comes storming out of command to find you. Solana! They snap. Where have you been? I expected you hours ago. Whoa, it's my bad, Rex says, moving to stand between you and Seek. If he had a tail, it would be between his legs, the perfect picture of an apologetic puppy. I asked her to help out. We're super short on hands around here, and she did a great job. Seek grudgingly accepts that you did, in fact, do good work. They tell you that you're cleared to help out in construction if you'd like, snidely commenting that you're better suited for manual labor than the job you were actually supposed to do today. I get the distinct impression Seek does not like me. Oh fuck, is it? Ugh, those are terrible cards. Guess we're grinding through that one, huh? Oh, we need a vacation. Oh, nice. Equip an additional gear. I think we're not gonna... I think we're just gonna stay in-house for a little bit. Yes, Mars is a... There we go. Oh. You find Mars frowning over a textbook on her hollow. She flips through the pages with growing disgust, until finally she gestures angrily to dismiss the screen, and then drags her hands down her face. Ugh, she exclaims. People totally suck. You slide into the seat next to Mars, and she sighs. I told my dads about my plan to get the adults to adopt kudos as a way to encourage the arts, and they got really weird about it. Like, they think it's a good idea, but then they told me that I should read up on Earth's history. So I did, and you know what I found out? People suck. The whole reason we left Earth was because trading money for stuff was a bad idea. It made a few people rich and everyone else poor, and it destroyed all the culture, and people fought and killed each other over it. By the time our parents left Earth, almost everyone worked super hard and was super poor, while like 100 people barely worked at all and owned private spacecraft. That's so dumb. This colony is the closest humans have come to income equality in thousands of years. We don't have any passion. And Earth's history is full of people with passion who end up turning into supervillains while everyone else starves, Mars says, crossing her arms. Is that all we're capable of? Really? She looks at you intently and puts her hand over her heart. I'm a passionate person, Solana, she says. Is being a despot all I'm capable of? You can work on it. You did get a little despot-y earlier. Well, you were trying. Mars nods with conviction. You're right, Solana. I'm glad I can always count on you to remind me to be better. There has to be a middle ground between austerity and inequality. I don't want to have everything while everyone else has nothing. Like, yes, obviously I want to colonize this stupid rock, Mars continues. I want massive cities and glass skyscrapers and flying cars. I want to not have to fight off aliens every year. I want to pave over all these skunky pollen trees and kill the stupid bugs. I want air conditioning. I just want everyone to have everything, even the stuff that the adults think doesn't matter. We can't live like animals just because of the boogeymen of our past. One day, I'm going to be running this place, Mars says. Just you wait, Solana. I'm not going to let us fall into the same patterns we did on Earth. We have to take care of each other and master this planet. But we also can't forget what makes life worth living. Luxury! What do you think, Solana? Mars asks. Do you think I'm on the right track? How do we avoid past mistakes? Well, I mean... Mars starts, then furrows her brow in thought. I mean, I guess I thought because we're already starting out equal, people would just be better? She frowns. You're right. It seems like wishful thinking, doesn't it? Well, at least I have you to bring me back to Earth. I mean, Vertumna. Mars smiles and clasps your shoulder. Thank you, Solana. You always think of things I don't. I really appreciate that about you. I feel a little bad for assigning her the vapid accent now, but so be it. Too late. We've committed to the bit. Oh yeah, no, I am stressed to feck. Time to take a nap. Oof. Yes, thank you. I'm tired of these wild value cards everywhere, all of them. Oh. Rex beams when he sees you walking towards him. Solana, he calls. Just the person I wanted to see. You duck under the shade of an overhanging bit of construction. I wanted to talk to you about something. Rex starts without preamble. I wanted to talk about us. Nothing to talk about, we're just friends. Rex tilts his head and looks at you quizzically. Are you sure? 'Cause that's not what I got from you when we kissed. But I guess, he says, shrugging, if that's how you want to play it, that's fine. But I like kissing people who want to kiss me back, so maybe we shouldn't do that again. Rex slings a friendly arm around your I forgot we did that. I was like, sorry Rex, you got dumped for an emo kid. And an alien. Rex slings a friendly arm around your shoulders. I'm glad we talked about this, he says. There's nothing better than a girl and her dog, right? You have to agree. It's awkward to tell someone you don't like them that way, but you feel good about this one. And Rex seems as genuinely friendly as ever. It's good to have a friend like Rex. No collar for Rex this time? Wished. You didn't even know that was there until I told you. Might want to raise combat because I think we're going to get absolutely battered by aliens. Does guard duty even raise yeah, it does. Okay. Oh, we get friendship with an enemy and face if we do that. And just face if we do that one. How are we looking on those? Because you went around farming rather than collaring the colony guys. Listen, listen, listen. If they volunteer for it, it's fine. Wait, did we get to base yet? No. Here, have a... Again, another thing I found on the ground. At least he's easily pleased. I distinctly remember she hates crystal clusters for some fucking reason. Which is a fact that it exists solely to torment me. Nami, and do you like the... Yes, okay, good. Oh. Nami is camped out in the lounge, their holopad screen spread out before them like a drawing table. In another screen, there's a collection of photos of a manticore. Nami looks between the two screens, their brow furrowed in concentration as they scribble directly onto the screen with a stylus. What are you doing? Well, Nami replies thoughtfully, I wanted to write and illustrate a story about aliens like in Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transform, except using the Xenos here on Vertumna, like manticores and faceless and stuff, but they can talk, and instead of attacking the colony, they help people instead. That sounds cool. Thanks, Nomi chirps, scribbling happily at their drawing. I got the idea from the second Turbo Girl Hyperjet OVA. You know the one. The one where the Medusa demons show up and the aliens and the Turbo Girls have to band together to defeat their common enemy? I remember that part. Nomi looks at you with a start. Oh! They exclaim. That reminds me. So, I'm trying to brush up on my xenoanatomy, and I'm totally fine with writing, but... They blow out a big breath, ruffling their bangs. I kinda haven't been here long enough to make sure it feels right, you know? To make it go pop. And I want to make sure I'm being, sensitive about stuff I don't know a lot about. So I was wondering, could you help me with some of the world building? Sure. You spend an enjoyable afternoon helping Nomi with their story. When you're done, they give you a big hug and thank you profusely for your help. You feel really proud of what you've accomplished. Tip engineering over to perk 2, whatever the hell that is. What do we get for the robotics lab? Oh, shoot. As you enter the robotics lab, watch out! Congruence shouts at you from the room's speakers, just as another weird little robot of unknown purpose comes scurrying towards you from across the room. It's zigzagging erratically, and looks like it's trying to make for the door you just opened. Fix the robot. Oh, Solana, thank you, Congruence says, wheeling in on her portable screen. I was running diagnostics on the little fellow when it broke away and made a run for it. I really need somebody to be my hands in here, she continues. Everything used to be easier with Hal around. I miss him. Congruence doesn't need to clear her throat, but you get the distinct impression she's simulating it anyway. If you want to come help me in the robotics lab, just come on down anytime. Oh wait, we didn't actually do an event this year, did we? What is the engineering award for that? 3 and 2, but if I do engineering, I get friendship with both of them? You're heading back to your quarters at the end of the day, and as you pass by the med bay, you hear shouts and scrambling from within. Several surveyors have come back with serious wounds, not the usual broken limbs and heat stroke. One of them is holding a towel to her own leg, staunching blood flow from a massive animal bite. Another looks nearly blinded from acid. It looks like chaos in there. Help in medbay. Gosh, it's a good thing you were here. Triaging and getting the most badly wounded into the medbeds is difficult, and the others need traditional medical attention while they wait. It's hectic, stressful work, but you're able to keep your head and provide assistance. Good work in there, Solana, Chief Engineer Instance says. You know, with how this colony's grown, I could use an assistant nurse here. Someone I can trust to take care of things while I'm working in the lab. Come back next month and give me a hand if you're interested. Yeah, colony doctor, the kid that is constantly disappearing. And is... how old am I? 18? Well, I suppose fair enough. That seems like our... oh, did we give Tang anything last week? No. Here, have a thing I found on the ground. Okay, you still have weird opinions about people. You are completely fine, I think. I'm afraid to click on that. Alright. Maybe I shouldn't be a coward about that one. Okay. Hey, let's get out of here. I was just thinking the same thing, Deese says, giving you one of his rare smiles. You head out the gates. You and Deese check your gear and set off on a deep wilderness hike, Deese in the lead. After a few hours, he's led you both on a grueling switchback up the side of a cliff, and as you pull yourself over the ledge, you curse his name. Deese, who is somehow still standing and as hale and hearty as ever, just laughs. Come on, he says, and you groan. Just a little farther. The view is worth it. You stagger to your feet and loop your arms around him, letting him support you as you take in the view, which is, as promised, awesome, in the sense that it fills you with genuine awe. A nearby waterfall begins its descent down the steep cliff, pooling at the bottom in an azure lake that glimmers in the second sunrise. From here, the colony is an insignificant smudge of dirt on the horizon. Deese takes a deep breath and releases it. I wish more people could see the colony like this, he says, holding you close. I think they finally realize how small and powerless we are compared to the planet. Got that sorted. That's yelling at me again. Of course it is. Right, I think that's enough time hunkered up in the colony. Like, let's head back out and see what's to see. No new boss event there, so let's go check out the plains, because we haven't been there in like 5 years. Hey, Nomi's here. When you report for surveying duty, Nomi is here. It's their first day as a surveyor. They smile widely when they see you, smiling exuberantly. Oh, you two know each other already? Utopia says, looking to you, then Nomi. That'll make this easier. Solana, I'd like you to keep an eye on Nomi while you're out there, Utopia continues. I'm going to assign you to the same regions for the next little while. Just make sure they don't wander into a nest of snap bladders, okay? Yay! Hooray! Teamwork. Nomi cheers and gives you a high five. As Utopia explains to Nomi and some other new Helios surveyors about the surveying tools, Nomi starts to get bored and wanders a little away from the group. You see it happening, but are powerless to stop them from tripping and nearly landing in a nest of hop-eye eggs. They're just about to crash into the delicate spun glass cocoon when Utopia materializes as if out of nowhere and scruffs them by the back of the collar. Nomi, pay attention! Nomi giggles, like they don't even realize the danger of being stampeded by the upset hop-eyes beginning to gather around. Utopia ushers them back to the group before things can get tramply. Nomi asks a million questions about the eggs. Are they edible? Do they have hard shells or soft? What is the cocoon made of? How long until they hatch? Utopia sighs. Just get out of here, you two, she says, before the cute little varmints turn ugly. You're crossing a clearing when you hear a terrible cracking, pounding sound. A bushbub bursts through the tree line, barreling straight towards you. Whatever's made a bushbub run, you're pretty sure you don't want to be on the business end of it. Stand your ground. Ah. The creature pounds past you, its powerful stone-like gorilla arms smashing the ground. It doesn't even seem to see you and goes around you without even looking at you. You look around, but there's no sign of whatever motivated the bushbub to run so fast. At least that's something to be grateful about. You stop to admire the light glinting off the water of a shallow circular lake when you notice some strange rocks near your feet. They're pink and red, bobbing in the shallow water at the shore. You've seen these colorful floating rocks before, but when you brought Dees back to show him where they were, you couldn't find them again. Repeat the pattern. You play a memory game with them, touching the stones in the pattern they give you. You feel emotions coming from the rocks. Affection, interest, gratefulness. Somehow you understand. They like the contact. Wish you had pecs like a bushbub. Are they creatures or rocks? Sometimes the lines between the two can be blurry on Vertumna. They can't move, but learn about the world from creatures who pass by and touch them. Like the way animals rub to leave their scent, these rocks entice animals to play with them and leave information about the world. You get the sense they're excited for your new scent. To what end, you don't know. That's not ominous at all. At the edge of one of the circular ponds, something sparkling catches your eye. Well, everything around here sparkles, but this thing really catches your eye. The water in the little lake is deep and milky though, and you can't see the bottom. It's completely still, almost too still, and so perfectly circular. You remember you've been warned about getting too close to these pools. Wait and observe. You stare at the perfectly still, milky water for several minutes. You think you might see something moving in its depths and shift to get a better view. Nothing. Maybe it was just a reflection of a cloud. When you feel ready to approach, you look for the sparkling object again, but can't find it. Was it just sunlight glinting on the snow? Oh well. It's a herd of herding sunbiters, your creatures that you personally discovered and got to name. Study them. You've seen this herd a few times traveling through this stretch of wilderness. All day they bask in the sun on the top of a plateau. Now that evening is coming, they're coming down into the plains to forage. They like to hang out in big groups and mostly lie around all day being lazy. Sounds like the life. Utopia is happy to have more information on that rare herd of herding sunbiters. Wow, I should have named them something different. I wasn't expecting that choice to come back and bite me. Oh. You're trekking through the wilderness when something catches your eye. To anyone else, it'd simply be a weird depression between two roots, but it pings something in your memory. Isn't this what the entrance to the Overseer's cave looked like? You decide to check it out. Your hunch is correct. The depression opens up into a passageway just big enough to wiggle your body through, then widens even more to reveal a similar door. You quietly push it open. The room you enter is not unlike the one where you interfaced with the array. There is a vat in the corner emitting a soft organic glow, and another computer panel slowly being reclaimed by the rock wall. It's not hard to assume the planet is lousy with rooms just like this one, where Sim and the other gardeners can rest and respawn if needed. This one, however, is not empty. You enter to find Sim, who is, aptly so, as naked as the day he was born. He is stepping out of the regeneration vat, clad only in strands of bioluminescing goo that slide down his long limbs and patter to the ground. Sim's back is to you, treating you to a glimpse of skin normally hidden under layers of tattered dark fabric, the knobs of his spine and shoulder blades visible under his inhuman musculature. He looks unusually delicate and vulnerable. You reach up and gently wring out his thick hair. He reaches up and gently wrings out his thick hair, humming a song you recognize from the Hollow archives. Nobody tells Twitch's naked aliens. It's fine. As if sensing the weight of your gaze on his body, he pauses and slowly turns his head. "Solana," he says softly, "I didn't see you come in." "I can see you very well, though." Sim tilts his head. "Oh?" he replies. He turns slightly, taking on a slightly more performative posture. "Did I design this body to your liking?" You have to say, he did. "Now that you know the truth about the gardeners," Sim continues, "we can be far more free with our words." He gestures to the regeneration vat. "I have very few secrets from you now. You can come take a closer look if you'd like." After a beat, he clarifies, "A closer look at the vat, I mean." You walk over and check out the vat. The air gets noticeably warmer the closer you get, like sunlight on your face, and there's a faint organic smell that's not unpleasant. The vat itself looks like something you'd find in engineering, but seems to be constructed entirely out of natural materials. Spongy-looking fungal growths, mineral deposits, and pulsating vine-like umbilicas. "You can touch it," Sim says. "It's not dangerous." You sit on the lip of the vat and run your fingers across the surface of the glowing liquid. A slight electric charge prickles up your forearms, and you feel the frisson of a link to the array. Sim sits down beside you, now fully dressed. His fingers alight on the surface of the liquid as well, and you feel a slight presence at the edge of your mind, like a thought you can't reach. I'm glad we can talk freely now, he says. Is there anything you wish to know about me or the gardeners? Tell me more about the gardeners. Sim sighs. Compared to the gardeners, humanity is short-sighted. You're often unable to conceptualize present or future beyond your own lives or those of your direct descendants. Gardeners think on a much larger scale. I once spent 400 years as a mush tree just to avoid talking to a gardener whose methods I disagreed with. He smiles. Juvenile, I know, but when your memory spans tens of thousands of years, 400 years is trivial, and it has given me a true appreciation for all life, one that goes deeper than I can describe. When I tell you that the gardeners are Vertumna, I mean it quite literally. How many gardeners are there? Sim thinks for a few seconds. It's hard to say, he answers. There are, theoretically, an infinite number of instances of the software that comprises a gardener. It's not uncommon for a particular instance, such as myself, to go dormant, possibly for thousands of years. He stretches out his fingers and looks at them, then at you. And many gardeners, such as the overseer, find they do not need to take physical form at all. There are only a handful like myself who do. Do you like being a gardener? Does the wind like being wind? Sim answers. I'm sorry to be cryptic after I told you I would not, but there really is no other way to answer that question. I am what I was created to be, he continues. There is a beauty in that, and a clarity of purpose that makes me feel fulfilled. I do not experience existential angst like human does. Dying and being reborn, what's that like? Reborn isn't the right word, Sim answers. It's more like reopening a program after a system crash. Everything is still there, perfectly preserved, except for whatever I added since the last time I saved my work. Functionally, it feels more like teleportation. As for dying, Sim continues, frowning a little as he considers the thought, well, I'm certain that dying can be extremely painful. Depends on the death, I assume. He touches his chest. I have no memory of the moment of death, though I have died many, many times, he says. In that, we are the same. How old are you? That question has many answers, Sim replies with a slight smile. This consciousness has ultimately been in existence for over 20,000 years, since the creation of the gardeners. But that means very little. I certainly don't have 20,000 years experience as a bipedal anthropomorphic organic capable of speech. And this body, he says, gesturing to himself, why, it is only minutes old. I feel like okay, we'll ask to see what it says. What should we humans do? Help? Why did that skip me? Okay. If I knew the answer, I would tell you, Sim replies, placing his hand on top of yours. Pragmatically, I do agree with the other gardeners, he continues. If our purpose is to protect the biosphere of Vertumna, and humanity poses a threat to that, then, by the letter of our own design, humanity must be eradicated. However, he sighs and looks away. I love humanity. I think you are all an incredible species, and it would be a shame to destroy you. I feel like doing so would be a violation of the spirit of the Convergent Domain's last decree. And perhaps, he murmurs, redeeming you will be the greatest act of love we could perform
in the name of our imperfect creators.
Thanks. That's enough.
Sim nods. Please know that you can come to me at any time, and I will do my best to answer, he says. However, I must apologize for something, Sim says abruptly. I simply must. May I touch you?
At your questioning look, Sim blushes and turns his head away.
This body is new, he murmurs, and all of its senses are heightened. I confess I find myself unable to stop myself from wondering what it would be like to touch another while I am vulnerable to sensation like this.
I need to get used to this sort of thing. Please, touch me anywhere that Twitch will allow.
Sim looks delighted as he reaches out and pets your hair, running his fingers through the fine strands. Marvelous, he says. Truly, a texture I have not been able to replicate in my own bodies.
He runs his thumb over your eyebrows, then your cheekbone. His fingers dance down the bridge of your nose, then lightly into the dip of your philtrum, across your lips to pause on your chin. Sim's gaze drops to your mouth as his own lips part with an unspoken question. Cool. I think we may have fucked that one up. I know that if I recall correctly, you actually have to do Sim and Dees in a specific order to get it to work, but pull away.
I understand, Sim says immediately, raising his hands away from you. Humans are bound by an intricate network of conventions around such things. This much I have gleaned from your holographic videos. I am sorry if I have made you uncomfortable.
He stands and takes a deep breath.
I would like to go outside, he announces. Have you ever swam in the lake nearby? It's incredible, especially when my senses are heightened. I love the feel of the sun and water on my skin.
He smiles down at you.
You are welcome to join me if you like.
Oi. Has he been watching the hub? I mean, there are two vital facts. One, we gave him a data disk filled with pretty much all of the cultural media that the Stratospheric had brought with it. Two, if you get Rex's friendship high enough, you discover that he has found porn in there. So, yes, Sim has probably been watching the hub. My favorite part is that Rex will deliver unto you the porn whether or not you are dating him. Nami! You hear Nami shouting for help nearby. Run over there. You sprint to the sound of distress. Nami seems to have fallen headfirst into some kind of Nami-sized flower. Is it eating them? It's engulfed Nami's upper torso, its petals pulsing as it pulls them down further. You could use your plas cutter to cut them out of there, if you can figure out what part of this creature to cut without hurting Nami. Nami is struggling and you hear muffled sounds of distress from inside. You have to try. 3 cheers for having leveled to whatever this is. Wait, oh shit, that counts as a blue. Forgot. You delicately slice the lyre flower at the underside of the base of its flower, which you guess is the creature's neck. Up close, it actually looks more reptilian than plant-like. Just a little nick, and the creature coughs and convulses. Nami spills forth in a flood of digestive juices. Ew, 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 yuck! My outfit! Stupid flower! Nami stomps and shakes their fist at the flower, which lurches away on a fat, snake-like body. We'll see if there's one more, now I thought we were actually going to get this done, but we're not even finished age 18, and it's been our 3 hours. I did not appreciate how much text, was in the latter half of this game. And I will be paying for it tomorrow. So I'm gonna see if there is a boss event at the end. Oh, there is. Perfect. You hear Dees shouting from nearby to come quick and look at this. You meet up with Dees on a curiously clean part of the path. There's no twigs, pebbles, bits of grass, or the ubiquitous Dorb's moth scales that litter this area. It almost looks as if it's been swept clean. And there, in the middle of a perfect circle 3 meters wide, is what you could only describe as a shrine. A hollow, waist-height structure made from twigs and packed spark snow forms the centerpiece, and around it are deliberately spaced piles of colorful fruit, flowers, and glittering stones, like an offering. Stake it out and wait. Nice, thanks, Rex. Yeah, Rex is pal. You hang out for hours, but don't discover anything, except how boring an idea this was. Dees takes a nap. You're almost falling asleep when something shuffles into the clearing. It's a bush bub. It crawls slowly down the path. It stops to pick up a pop flower. It stops to pick up a stone. When it arrives at the shrine, it carefully places the flower in the pile of flowers and the stone in the pile of stones. Then it picks up the stone and repositions it, just so. You wonder if this creature is somehow religious, or is it trying to attract a mate with this little show of decor? There's so much you don't know about the animals that live here. Keep exploring. That was our boss event, that's nice, but there's always stuff down here. Pick these up so we can throw them at our friends. I mean, gift them generously to our beloved friends. And then we are going to swing back to the colony, because I need to call it a night. I didn't realize how late it was getting. You're browsing the colony bulletin board on your hollow palm over breakfast when you notice a new post from Nami. It seems to be a short story. The title is Xenos to the Rescue. Xenos, not Xenos. Oh boy. You open the story and read through it. Wow, it's actually pretty good. Nami did a great job of grounding the unrealistic premise of talking manticores with relatable characters and a strong emotional story. With your help on some of the finer details, Nami's written something that truly elevates the art form. You get the notification through your hollow palm that you've received some kudos, along with a message from Nami. Thanks for the help, Solana! Here are your royalties! Hell yeah, I didn't even do anything and I still got paid for it. Right. We are required to call it there for the night because my throat hurts. Why are you... That's because I closed Discord and it's mad at me. As always, it is great to see everyone. So we will be continuing Teenage Exocolonist next week. I know I said yesterday we'd be wrapping it up, but that was predicated on the idea that we actually that we actually finished it, which we did not because I can't count. So we will wrap that up next week, and then from after then we'll do the Thursday shift to YouTube. So there's no hassle with that. Exocolonist will be born out on the platform on which we started because I feel like an ass if I didn't do that. And also I don't know how YouTube works. Let me see. Okay, so I may have said this already, but it's always nice to see y'all. I hope the rest of your week goes well, and I hope I get to see you guys around sometime. I'm gonna send you over to Shinkai, who is currently doing I forget what that said. It's a special games mix for a particular festival that's on, so I have no idea. I'll be as new to this as you all are. Okay, bye!